going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web here on a Monday night as we await Bucs versus the Titans on Saturday night, the first preseason football game. How about that?
Wait up, little boy! Wait up!
So how do we start off this show? As you know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Once again, I'm your Rolex reporter, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. On tonight's show, we will have professional handicapper extraordinaire Mr. Harry the Greek coming up here in just a couple moments. At 8:30, we will have Bushman of the Rays Rewind podcast. We will have Best of the Bays, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. At 9 o'clock, we will have Leo Haggerty. And at 9:30, we will have Jason Powers. And, of course, we will talk Tampa Bay Buccaneer football, Tampa Bay Rays baseball. Been tough to watch this team lately, hasn't it? 2 out of 3 to the LA Dodgers. They make moves at the trading deadline. Brandon Lau is still a part of this team, Yandy Diaz, but they do get rid of Taj Bradley, Zach Littell. They didn't get rid of Pete Fairbanks. So that's the question for the night for Rays fans. What did you think about what they did at the deadline at this point as they get a new starting pitcher after trading Littell? They get Griffin Jacks, a bullpen arm. There they trade their shortstop and their shortstop and Cabello. So what now? They're now 3 games under 500. So this road trip is huge, and it starts tonight versus the Angels there in Anaheim. And then, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Tennessee Titans. I get it. It's the first preseason game, but it's still football. We have to talk about injuries because we've been talking about that. It seems like all offseason. Baker Mayfield now has a hand contusion. In fact, according to NFL media, because we didn't get a chance to cover this, I went out there to camp on Friday. He wasn't playing. It was Kyle Trask. So I guess we are going to see Kyle Trask. And I know there's a lot of Traskites or Trask fans out there that are just loving. Yes, I see Harry the Greek in the background there. Of the Greekites, make America Greek again. With Harry the Greek, as we'll get out to him in just a moment. But according to NFL media, Mayfield suffered a contusion on his throwing hand during the session and Thursday's workout. So we will see. Of course, Mayfield has not missed a game since joining the Buccaneers in 2023. Knock on wood, because we've heard our analysts say it could happen. Leo Haggerty, Louis from the Frozen Pirate podcast, that it's going to happen. And I say, let's not do this. Let's not wish upon this, right? Let's not wish this into existence, if you will. So get the injuries out of the way. Of course, we talked about Chris Godwin and Tristan Wirfs and David Walker being out for the year, and now Baker Mayfield. So how concerned are you with that injury? That would be one question for the night. What player are you looking forward to seeing in this preseason? Once again, it's an evaluation process. Mine is Benjamin Morrison. What is yours? And should the Bucs trade for Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys? Because that was the other big story of last week, if you will, that now he doesn't want to be with the Dallas Cowboys. So are you okay with trading 2 first-round picks? Are you okay with trading a player like Yaya Diaby, multiple picks for a Parsons? Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We'll read the comments. Facebook Live right now, of course, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, LinkedIn Live, and of course, X, Twitter, whatever the heck they call it these days. We're also live. Facebook Stars are open, YouTube Super Chats. Definitely want to hear from you. So let's go out to some of these comments from the webheads and the Greek guides, and then we will get out to Harry the Greek right there. First, Baker's hurt. Not a surprise. Thanks a lot, Tribal Troll.
Acknowledge me.
And this is what you get.
Shut up.
Tampa. I like that, Timmy. Thank you very much for tuning in. Reina says LFG.
Wait up, little boy.
LFB.
Wait up.
LFB. LFB.
How about them Bucs, baby?
LFB. Love it. Bay right there. Sitting says, go Bucs, go Bucs.
Wait up, little boy.
Bucs.
Wait up.
I do this.
Victory.
That's how I was feeling today. You'll wake up on a Monday and the football season is upon you. Like, I don't care if it's preseason. I've been working all weekend. Everybody's working for the weekend, right? I'm aging myself. I worked all weekend. I'm ready for football on Saturday night. That's the reason why you work in the first place. Let's go out to Tim. What's up, Peter? What's going on with you?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Michael. Got to head to work in 20 minutes, but can't wait for the preseason. Hope Baker is healthy, of course. And I don't think he's going to play in this preseason. You wouldn't expect him to play in this preseason. So you're going to get an opportunity to see a lot of Kyle Trask. Let's go out to the Tribal Troll. Don't know what that is. Seth Rollins, opening Raw. Great. Abraham right there. He needs reps. Peter Trask. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go watch Roger again. Name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Trask. CSB brother Cole right there. Kyle Trask better get better. This is the most shallow position in football. Michael says, looking forward to seeing Reddick and Diaby and Zach Mitchell. Hostage situation with Parsons, going to be a hefty price tag. Not sure if it'll be worth it. $42 million. Lots of money. You give up multiple first-round picks, multiple draft picks. Bucs fans, are you willing to do that? Before we get into go out to Harry, I got to say this. Thanks a lot to Up the Block Barbershop. If you need a haircut, beard trim, eyebrows, if you want to look good, if you want to style and profile, if you want to look professional, 4649 Moog Road. It's Up the Block Barbershop. You don't have to go far. You go Up the Block Barbershop. Tell them that Peter Blake, the Rolex reporter, sent you, and go see my favorite barber, Ricky. All right, without further ado, enough with the intros and everything else. Let's get out to them. Here we go. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. What's going on, my friend? How you doing? Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television.
What's happening, Peter? How are you this evening?
Listen, I'm ready to go. You know me. I'm always ready for football. And it is Saturday night, Bucs versus the Titans at Raymond James Stadium. We'll start there. Baker Mayfield already hurt. By the way, some good news with Mayfield, because Mayfield does have a hand contusion, but 50th ranked player in the NFL 100 this year. So first, how concerned are you with Mayfield's injury? And second, is that a little bit too low? Welcome to the Sports Web.
No, I'm not concerned, and no, it's not too low. You know what they feel about rankings, Peter. Come on, man. I just care about rankings. It's like PFF grades. People that follow them don't really know the game. Stop, please. I mean, you got to pass the eye test. Am I concerned? As long as it doesn't get any worse, honestly. Seriously, as long as it doesn't get any worse. But Pete, man, it's 4 and 5 weeks away. It's opening day in the National Football League. It's just unbelievable. And I got a question for everybody out there.
Yeah.
And please go ahead and post a comment. Would you like to see a hat get designed that says, now hold on, don't get crazy, that says MAGA, and then underneath it says Make America Greek Again, and on the side or on the back it's got the Sports Web logo? Tell me, do you think it's a good idea, America? I want to know. Please go ahead and post that comment, because I think it's pretty cool.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. But
you don't have to be a righty. You don't have to be a lefty. You just have to have someone with a little sense of humor. I think it's absolutely perfect.
Well, listen, that's what we do here. We have a little bit of a sense of humor. We're not too serious. We don't take each other too serious, if you will, even when we talk uniforms on this show, whether it's black uniforms or whatever else. Sorry, had to, with Louis out there doing great things with the Frozen Pirate podcast. But the hand contusion, it can be a lingering thing because supposedly he did
It's
hit
a little bit of a bone bruise. It's no big deal.
Hit your hand on a helmet. You don't expect him to play in this preseason. You don't think the Bucs are going to play him, not one game, one series. I guess the question would be, if that happens, does that make you not just concerned about the injury, but also the timing of the offense to have a slow start? Because you've been on record with the new offensive coordinator and Josh Grizzard that they could get off to a slow start. Not only that, you have Tristan Wirfs. Not only that, you play Atlanta and Houston and the Jets and the Eagles. Oh, my. So could you be concerned with, Mayfield not getting those reps in preseason, or once again, not a big deal, not concerned?
Pete, he's not going to get any reps in the first couple of games anyway.
Okay.
He'll get it in the third game.
Okay.
He may have gotten in maybe 2 or 3 series, maybe 1 or 2 series in the second game. And he still may, just to get reps of handing the ball off, just getting out there to feel. Look, his hands hurt, not his brain.
Yeah.
He can see it being ran out there. He can visualize it. Baker Mayfield was the number 1 pick overall for a reason, not because he was stupid. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the man knows how to process the National Football League. He understands defenses, and he knows how to process a game plan. And that's exactly what it's going to be. Now, reps, there's nothing like processing and reps. I mean, repetition, that's supposed to be everything. But let's be honest, man. Baker's going to be out there, and he's going to be balling. Baker's going to be baking. They're just going to be a little bit cautious. I mean, who knows how bad the contusion is?
Yeah, but that's
Wait
true.
a minute. Could it be as bad as what they reported on Chris Godwin? No. Not at all. This is just a hand contusion. It's not going to linger on. Forget the fear mongering like CNN does. I mean, this is perfect. He's going to be fine.
All right, good stuff. So Kyle Trask and Kyle Trask, we trust. I never thought we would say that, but that's what we say here on the Sports Web, especially during the preseason here.
He should be taking every single snap in the first 2 games. The first 2 games, that man should be taking every single snap.
Okay.
You have to be ready because God forbid he goes down. Who's backing him up?
Well, right now it's not Michael Pratt. And let me go ahead and see if I can pronounce this man's name. Connor Bazelak.
Okay, I like a side. Okay. I like a side here, okay?
That's what I'm saying.
Give me a break. All you trash caters out. Listen, man. Listen. He's going to be
he's going to sign a veteran. I mean, seriously, could it be time? I believe a Carson Wentz is out there. Could it be time for the Bucs to sign a veteran?
Absolutely, Pete. And don't go to one screen because I like talking to you and seeing you.
Okay, sure.
Look, I mean, let's look what the Chicago Bears. And I'm not trying to
stop right there.
I'm not trying to circle back all the way to the Bears and everything, but look who they signed.
Right.
Okay. They've got a kid that's going to be in his 3rd year. His name is Tyson Bagent. Some people feel that he should be the starter of this football team. He's got that kind of spark plug. He reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield, that type of player. Okay.
Yeah.
And he was, he's a D3 school, nothing major, and he's got all the capabilities. But even they were smart enough to go out there and challenge somebody for a backup position to hold the clipboard. And you know who it is? Case Keenum.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and the Bucs haven't.
Why didn't the Bucs go out and get him? He was available.
Well, again, this is the reason why you signed Trask in the first place, because he knows the offense to a certain.
But do you feel better with Keenum behind center or Trask? Just be honest.
I don't want to hate on the kid because I haven't seen enough of him. I feel better with Case Keenum.
You would have taken a D3 quarterback over Kyle Trask the past couple of years. The reality is this. Case Keenum is good for 3 and 4 and 5 games. After that, nothing. Remember, he did a particular game in the playoffs. He's a decent quarterback, but why didn't they go out and get him? The man's a veteran. He can help everything in the quarterback room, and then bring up the younger kids, especially the one that you couldn't even pronounce his name.
Yeah. Well,
I got to give a shout out to a buddy of mine.
Yes, Bo Turner.
And a lot of people don't know who Bo Turner is. If you do your homework back in the 90s, he was a professional skateboarder. He was a colleague of mine for many, many, many years. Great guy. I'll tell you what, just a super fantastic guy. Bo, thanks for tuning in, brother. But I'll tell you what, he's a lot of fun.
All right, good stuff there. Let me go out to Zach Mitchell. A great hat swag. Abraham says Brady had a hand contusion when he was a Buck and he played on. You're exactly right. He did. He played on with a couple of injuries there, but what you worry about again is you hope it's not a lingering issue. You know that he's most likely not going to get any preseason time at this point because you don't want to take a chance to aggravate that injury. And then on top of it, you're going in with once again, a new offensive coordinator, even though he called third downs. So you kind of, and then you have Tristan Wirfs. So I don't want to be doom and gloom, okay? Because I'm the eternal optimist.
Pete, I'd be more concerned about the left tackle with Tristan Wirfs being injured than I would with a little itty bitty hand contusion.
Right. Well, still,
okay?
It's
not going to hamper him from throwing the football.
Okay.
It's not that serious enough. But go ahead.
All right. Cole, CSB brother. Wow, I like it, but isn't MAGA a copyright?
It is, and I've looked into it. But if we change the lettering, it would be perfect. Okay. Now, Bo, I know you're out there. I just brought you up, but honestly, I want you to post a comment. Should we make a hat? Just think about this. That says MAGA across the front, and it says "Make America Greek Again," and on the back put the Sports Web logo on it. Tell me that's not genius, Bo. Seriously, should we do it? Yes or no? Up or down?
He says, "Love you guys." So I don't know. And then what's up, Greek and Peter right there, Mr. Alex.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And look at who we got here. We had to bring him in because he wanted to come in tonight. Let's go out to this guy right here, Best of the Bay.
Mr.
There he is, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Which, by the way,
up, Ray?
I got to give you congratulations. And the sound is a little bit buzzy here, so let's watch that. But listen, I got to give you congratulations. Like 40,000 on the Sports Web when you did the Happy Gilmore too. Another 10,000.
Nothing $20 don't buy, baby. Tell them, Ray.
Doing great stuff there, Tampa Bay Ray. Congratulations on all the views, man. You're killing it out there. Welcome to the evolution.
Brother, it's like we've always said. At the end of the day, and Harry, you kidded around about buying those views, but whether you're buying them, you're getting them.
I'm teasing you.
I know, but
congratulations, man. Because 40,000 views on one single show. Seriously, that is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Well, and you go when you drive into the analytics, people aren't staying the entire time now. So, we're not locking it down. But like I always say, you can get the people to the party, but if the party's not happening, they're not going to stay. So at the end of the day, it's the content, right? So we're putting down content. So yeah, I appreciate that, Pete and Harry. And you guys are talking Kyle Trask in here on a Monday night. And you knew I had to get up in here and do something.
Well, yeah, you are a Trask guy.
Well, this morning he contacted me, Harry. He's like, "What are you doing tonight? Are you going to lead off with Kyle Trask? Are you going to do a monologue on Trask?" And I said, of course I'm going to, and I'm going to have you on with me to tell me how great Kyle Trask is going to be in the preseason. So it's a Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy.
He's going to lead the league in yards and touchdown passes.
And the preseason. There you go.
Yep. And then everybody's going to be clamoring for Trask, baby, including my friends up in Indiana. We'll leave them nameless.
If Shadur Sanders can be sitting out in camp today up in Cleveland because he said he's got to get used to the throwing, at the NFL level, and he's a fourth-string quarterback. At the end of the day, though, Peter, like you said, though, whether it was Liam Cohen or Dave Canales or now Grizzard, Kyle's been there the entire time. And I'm not going back to Manville High when he played behind Philippi Franks at Florida or behind, it's the fact that the kid's always been ready to step in. But I think at the end of the day, do I want to see Kyle Trask instead of Baker Mayfield under center? No, 100%. Baker's our dog. But as a backup quarterback, someone who can facilitate and come in here, it's a brand new offense. So you could have brought in Josh Allen.
The guy's a veteran now, Ray. No,
5 years.
The guy is a veteran. He didn't have to take all the snaps. He's not going to be a rookie. I think he's going to handle this offense just fine. He's got to shake the bugs loose. But Peter brought up a really good point. I'd love to hear your opinion on it.
Yes.
Should they have actually picked up a veteran quarterback like, say, the Chicago Bears did, even though they had a real capable backup who everybody thinks that should have been the starter in Tyson Bagent? They just got Case Keenum. Why didn't Tampa go after him? I'd love to hear your opinion on it. And do you think they should actually have one?
I'll tell you
proven veteran.
Yeah, Case Keenum going back to under, I don't know if he's under McConnell, but back under Washington, back under Kyle Shanahan, back when Mike Shanahan was back in the day when Case first came up. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback. I think in Washington or in Chicago's case, it's only Caleb's second year, and I think he's going to have a great year there under the new regime and what they're doing there in Chicago. But you can't bring a veteran quarterback in here, because the last thing you want is for your backup quarterback position to be a story. And it's not that you're settling for Kyle Trask, but this guy's been here locking it down for 5 years. He's still the most readily available next man up as far as going back to high school and then going back to Florida.
But he's unproven.
Well, he's unproven, but then so's a veteran in this new Grizzard offense. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're causing him more of a storyline.
No. That one I'll have to differ with you on. I understand and I can appreciate where you're coming from. I would love to see Kyle Trask be, effective in this league, especially. I mean, let's just be real. The odds of a quarterback going down for a couple of weeks throughout the course of the year are very high, because there's very few quarterbacks that can actually finish the league and complete all 17, let alone the playoffs, without actually having the
playoffs.
Okay, so would you have felt better, honestly, having a Kyle Trask coming in who's unproven, even though he's a veteran for 5 years, or someone like Case Keenum coming in who has won a playoff game and has won numerous games in the National Football League? Just saying.
I think it's a great question.
And it didn't cost much.
Right.
It's costing you less money for a Case Keenum than it did for a Kyle Trask. I'll let you take the floor.
That would have to do that. That would, and I'm not saying that we can't all go back, and there's not times we all go back and admit we were wrong. Vernon Hargraves, player of the week. He gets cut on Tuesday after that game in New Orleans. And I know Pete and Harry, you both remember that. That was my player of the game that week, and he gets cut. I'm not saying that revisionist history, we can't go back and say we were wrong, but everything I've known about Kyle Trask, or I felt about Kyle Trask since we get him as a luxury pick out of Florida, going into it, 5 years in, if you bring a veteran in here, then that makes me have to go back and say that when I was ready to take Kyle Trask over to Deshaun Watson, when we were still wondering if it was going to be Griffith and Ryan, I mean, we didn't know what was going on here. The Bucs were possibly in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. I'm like, no, we got a guy in, and I'd rather see a Kyle Trask versus a Deshaun. I guess the people of Cleveland now at this point in 2025 would also. But Harry, to answer your question, would I feel more comfortable if Tom Brady was the backup quarterback? Yeah, sure. I want a backup quarterback who knows exactly what needs to be done. But at the end of the day, this kid's been here with this team for 4 years, 5 years now, and he's in the thick of it with Grizzard. So for me to say I'd be more comfortable with anyone else other than Kyle is backing up Baker Mayfield would be like me saying that I've never been sure about him all along. And the truth is, I know he's unproven, but I'm still sure about Kyle Trask to this day as far as a backup for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know what? I'm also a fan of a Kyle Trask, but I call caca on that because this team is built to win right now. And if I was going into I'll tell you what, if it's game 17 and Mr. Baker got hurt and you're going into the playoffs, I'm sorry, bro. I want that veteran sitting up underneath center, because you know what? We know one thing for sure. They're not going to force the ball downfield and make ill-advised passes for the most part. That's the only reason why I was saying that. Ray, I wasn't trying to prove you wrong.
No, you're right, though.
I was just trying to generate a little bit of a talking point, because Peter hit it right on the head. And you know what? This team does not have a veteran presence in the back that's proven. We have a veteran, but not a veteran that is proven.
Good stuff there, guys. Open phone lines if you want to talk about this. The Baker injury, how concerned are you about it? Kyle Trask at the controls, and should the Bucs sign a veteran at this juncture? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Expecting Al Bushman of the Rays Rewind podcast as the Rays he got busy at the deadline as they dealt off Zach Littell, to the Reds. They acquired a backup catcher who, again, has been their starter. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. Maybe you guys know. From the Dodgers, Jose Caballo from the Yankees. They traded him to the Yankees from the Rays. The Rays also acquired Adrian Hauser for infielder Curtis Mead and a couple pitching prospects. Gary, you wanted to talk about this. I don't know who that is in the background. And then the Rays also acquired a reliever in Griffin Jacks for Taj Bradley. So a lot of people expected with the Rays at the deadline to be the sellers that they were, get rid of a Brandon Lau, get rid of a Yandy Diaz and
Pete Fairbanks.
Yeah. So
he had no value, guys. Okay, otherwise he would have been gone. Gone. He would have been gone. He has pitched up and down too much, and no team in Major League Baseball right now that is fighting for a playoff push could have given up anything that was worth to get him. I mean, really, seriously. Now, if this was last year, it'd be a different story. This year, no bueno.
All right. I'll get back to that in a moment. Get out to the comments here. Sun Devil Dave. No, that's okay. We got Abraham that called in. We're awaiting Bushman. So Abraham called back. LA Knight versus Rollins for the WWE title tonight. Thank you for the update on that. CS3 brother Cole says, I would love the Bucs to sign better with any quarterback over Kyle. Is Jim Everett or a former grocery store employee available? That would be Kurt Warner. Speaking of MAGA, I am anyone but a Trask Bucs fan, I believe he said. And let's go out to Tim. Can't sign a big name backup quarterback now. Should have been done in the offseason. Doing it now would be, I think it said running at the seat of your pants at this point.
Not really. You're going to see a lot of players getting cut. Let me tell you something. Tampa Bay is not done grabbing players off a waiver wire. Right. Let's be clear on that. Right. You know, there's going to be some quarterbacks that aren't going to make it. They're going to cut. They're going to be intriguing. You're also going to find some edge rushers that are going to be very intriguing, which Mike is Parsons? A segue getting into Micah Parsons. But then again, look, the bottom line is this. They've got ties of him going to Chicago. I've had reports come out of ESPN radio out of Chicago saying that the Bears have already packaged 2 players for him, 2 starters, and 2 first-round draft picks. Who knows? Look, the bottom line is this. Atlanta's hot after him. Chicago's hot after him. The Jets are hot after him. 2/3 of the teams around the National Football League are hot after him. Jerry Jones ain't giving him up. That's it.
Not giving him up.
He's not giving him up.
Okay.
Micah Parsons will be a Dallas Cowboy come week 1. I hope it's not true, and they end up going to another team. Personally, because I don't like the Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, Bo. I know you're a big Cowboys fan, but let's be real, man. They're not giving up. He's the best edge rusher in all of football. It's not even close.
Abraham, stand by. We're going to get out to L. Bushman here in just a moment, so I want you to call back, all right?
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. All right, so let's get out to Bush right now from the Rays Rewind podcast. And we've been talking football here. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that before we get into the Rays at this point, because I think everybody's kind of focused, Bush, on football after what we saw. I don't know what we saw besides just awfulness by the Tampa Bay Rays in July, and then they lose 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. They did get a shutout on Saturday. The trading deadline, it seems like they're in and then they're out. They're kind of like their team this year, up and down. But before that, how concerned are you with Baker Mayfield, and do you feel like the Bucs should sign a veteran at this point? Welcome to the Evolution.
Zero concern.
Okay.
Whatsoever at all. So, no. I mean, no. We'll be just fine. Is it a hand contusion or something like that? He'll be day to day. So I'm not concerned about that.
Listen, I got a hangnail, man. Can I take a day off of work, bro? Seriously, look at this shit.
I think whoever's overreacting for it too. It's like we're in training camp, man. We're in preseason. Guys are gonna get contusions. Guys are gonna get. Yeah, it's nothing. Like the Bucs, they know what they need to do is precautions.
I bumped into the coffee table. I got to take a couple of practice.
We're talking about practice, right? Talking about practice?
Yeah, we're talking about practice here. We're talking about practice. Yeah, I think whoever's overreacting, which a lot of people like to do because that's how they get clicks and likes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's kind of just a waste of breath if you're getting like.
What's up, Bush?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been kind of it was a slow weekend for the Rays. I mean, there was really nothing to talk. We had a new episode that dropped.
There's a lot to talk about with the Rays.
Well, I know, but it was just for us. It's like, okay, the weekend it was kind of more of the same. It was nice to beat Blake Snell. I mean, that was kind of nice. I mean, you went yard on him twice, so that was kind of cool. But other than that, it's like you're turning the page to the same page of the same book. Going
Bush, I got to start ripping on you a little bit. I'm sorry. So strap it on, baby. Let's go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Buttercup.
Let's go.
You were one of the people that wanted this team in Tampa. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they're 3 games under 500. They just played a series against the Dodgers.
Yep.
Okay. There was 11,000 fans. 9,000 of them were wearing blue from the Dodgers.
Yep.
Okay, so what's the difference if they play in St. Peter, Tampa? Oh, you build if they're going to come. They ain't coming there.
I think.
What the hell's going on? Seriously, what's going on?
I think if you had it in St. Pete, you'd have less Dodger fans and less Rays fans there for that series.
Okay.
Ouch.
No, I think we're getting to the point where.
No, but you understand the concept.
No, I totally do.
Remember how everybody's like, "I'm going, man."
I totally do, but you also have to understand too. If the product on the field is not great, people they don't want to show up. I mean, I think that's also nationwide too with other teams like the Pirates.
The Chicago
and the
White
Cardinals.
Sox are 27 games under 500, and you're ready for this for the past 3 weeks at home. They're averaging 29,000 fans.
Chicago, man.
It's Chicago, and then
hold on.
Yeah.
No.
Can we say the same thing about the Marlins this weekend where they played the Yankees and it was sellouts every single game, but it was like 99% Yankees fans?
Hold on. But I can honestly tell you this. That's not what it's been like in Chicago for the White Sox. Their attendance has been actually kind of piss poor. But what they do see are a bunch of young talent that's out there, and it's inspiring to watch a team play. You had a firsthand look
also
at
them. I think also too the areas, unlike like Tampa, the area is waiting for a football team that's actually relevant. It's instead of the Bears, which is kind of still a toilet right now.
Oh,
so maybe that's why people aren't.
Hold on. You kiss my ass right there, okay, Bush?
Wait. You want to give a JP? Here's a JP.
F you, and F you. Peace
no,
out.
that's a good point. But since we are talking about the Rays, how about Adrian Hauser, buddy? How do you like that?
Well, listen, hold on. Can I?
I'm bringing him.
Well, we'll find out tonight when he gets on the mound for the West Coast trip.
Can I mention a point of the reason why the Rays attendance is not very good right now?
Sure, I'd love to hear this one. So would Ray.
Because the ownership continues to raise the ticket prices for series like the Dodgers. So Rays fans once again stay away, and maybe the Dodger fans come out.
But don't they do that all the time
Also, you have to remember, I'm sure that when those same Dodger fans are going to the Big Stein, their second favorite team is the Tampa Bay Rays.
Correct.
Correct.
Just the
but
same.
Let me ask you a question. Don't any major market teams do that? I mean,
everybody does.
Listen, when Tampa's playing Jacksonville, the tickets could be $50. The Bears come to town. How much are they, Pete?
A lot more.
They're expensive. They're definitely expensive. But you
gotta raise them because there's big name stars coming. You've got Ohtani coming. Like you raise them up because there's big names. It's a big market team that has stars on that team. I mean, if it was like, hey, we're playing the Colorado Rockies, you're lowering the prices because it'll be a crappy series because there's not big names like that. So
the worst team in baseball, yeah. But let me ask you guys this though. Because we're hearing that the ownership group with Zalewski, they're approved but not approved. It's not complete till September, but it is approved because there's a letter of intent which expired. But they're the ones who's Eric Neander calling to make these decisions on the end of the at the trade deadline. Is he calling Zalewski, who's going to own him, or is he calling Stu Sternberg, who currently owns them? And you guys, it's been hot. So, I mean, we can always factor in that, too, that it's been hot over there. But I think long gone are the days where we can say we're not supporting this team because the devil still owns them, because we're actually now saying that Zalewski's the one pulling the strings with Neander on future contracts. So I know that that's not going to be defined for the rest of the season, and it's hot now. And I'm looking forward to the Rays having a new stadium in Tampa Bay. I don't care where. But I will say this, 2025, going back to April, before the team sucked, before they were great, going back to April, I still didn't see 12,000 people consecutively. And when I saw the Braves come into town, when I saw the Cardinals come into, or the Phillies come into town, I saw a lot more Phillies and Braves fans than I saw Rays fans. So I'm just saying, though, at the end of the day, just moving them across the bridge doesn't mean guaranteed attendance. And if that's the case, if you're a Zalewski or someone else buying a team, you're paying $1.7 billion for the team, and you're going to have to come up with another $1.5 billion for a stadium. When do you start making your money back if just having a team on the east side of Tampa Bay guarantees or doesn't guarantee sellouts? It's going to be a long time for return.
Because it just goes to show you that it is a slow news day when we're talking about stadium and attendance stuff still.
And listen,
look, I think
yes.
Going towards the new ownership and the stadium and all that, that's going to get ironed out when that happens and the sale is final, which should be coming up pretty soon in the next few weeks in September or whatever. But, this team, especially when the new ownership groups takes over. I mean, we don't really know what their business plan is because remember, this is still a business. We don't know if they're going to be an ownership group that is going to open up the pocketbooks and start attracting free agents into town because that also helps with attendance too, is big name players coming into town. Now, when you put a stadium over and the Tampa Bay side, which, is probably going to happen, the new ownership group says, hey, we are putting a stadium in Tampa. We're not interested in being in St. Pete. You're going to go. The site has to be the perfect site too. It has to be a central site where traffic from flow good in and out.
Where?
Look, I say that
maybe
we've talked about this.
Where?
It's almost like we're repeating ourselves. We've talked about.
Where are they going to put them in that? Let them go by the Tampa Hordes track over. At
well, no, but we're repeating ourselves here. But the truth of the matter is, we're getting down to brass tacks now. The ownership group's going to have to pay 1.5 or north to get the team. We know this because Stu Sternberg's a cheap money.
Yeah, but Ray, if they didn't want to buy the team and had no intentions of building a stadium and putting up the money for it, they shouldn't have done it anyway.
Well, no, but here's what I'm saying. No, I get they want to buy the team. They love Tampa Bay. In fact, their mother gave birth to with a midwife and 3 kids on a raft floating in the old Tampa Bay and Cabbage Key. What I'm saying is, if the owner's going to pay $1.7 billion for a team, and they also have to come up with $1 billion for a stadium, are we really going to be surprised when they're not having $1 billion to spend on player salaries in 2027 because they've had to spend the money to buy the team, and they've had to put up a lot of money to build a stadium in some place that they hope's going to work?
Because that's the reason why you build a new stadium in the first place. This is the reason why we've been
generate revenues for the 11,000 people that come out to the games.
Okay, but you would have more again with more.
If Stu didn't own a team.
Let's all be optimistic.
You know what? This is Florida's version of around the horn. Peter, you get the point.
It's like Groundhog Day for me. It's like
right.
It is.
And you can't do any wrong. The team draws 11,000. Everybody wants to criticize Tampa. The place is St. Pete, but nobody ever wants to talk about the fact that, well, the reason why you have a new stadium in the first place is what? To create the revenues. This is what we heard.
Let's also be optimistic here too. The Rays are playing in a stadium that has no dome. Correct. In the hot sun. So the reason why you're averaging the amount of people you're averaging is because you're not
Tampa. Don't.
But hold on, Harry. Hold on. Let's be optimistic here. If when you put a stadium in Tampa that is probably going to be covered in some kind of dome fashion, you're probably going to attract more people to it than you are in an outside stadium in the summer heat of Florida.
That's what they said about the Trop. But go ahead.
But you're that's in St. Pete though. We're putting this in Tampa now, where the population is a lot bigger. And look, I'm at like here when it talks about the stadium and the attendance issues. It's like until it gets done. Call me when it gets done, and then we can have a conversation about the stadium and attendance. Because look, we're not even there to that point where it's even built yet. The ownership group hasn't even taken control of the team yet. So let's pump the brakes on the what ifs about how many people they're going to average per game when it goes in the Tampa. Where they're going to put the stadium site.
Listen, Evan. Eventually, they're going to end up in Tampa. They're going to have to come back and finish.
They are going to end up in Tampa. They've already said they're going to build a stadium in Tampa. So
but for the next 4 years, they're going to fulfill their obligation here in St. Pete while they get it. Okay, so where they're going to get the money from. But let's talk about where they're going to put it. They can't put it by the I-4 corridor because you can't get through there on a Sunday morning without taking 20 minutes to get from Ashley to I-4. That's a problem. So you're not going to put it at the fairgrounds. So some grandma from Plain City goes, I'm going to be there in 15, 20 minutes like Ray alluded to earlier today. There's a piece of property where TGT is, which is Tampa Greyhound Track, that I personally know has a ton of property to put it, but who the hell wants to put it in the south side of Chirac like they have up there where Chicago White Sox play? Nobody.
You're going to put it in Ybor
horrible.
City. That's probably where you're going to put it.
Okay, so that's going to be right around the I-4 corridor.
Yeah. Yeah, because
you'll have, and I'll take any bet right now. Let them play one full season right there. Go into year 2 and your attendance will be lower than it is over here at the Trop. Nobody's going to want to go to that game. To go what? See this product in those conditions? Zero chance.
That's the difference, though, guys, with the new ownership here, the commitment to have money. And there's a reason why Major League Baseball and Rob Manfred chose this ownership group, because they've got assurances from them that not only are they going to get a new stadium, they're going to spend money, they're going to invest. They know what they have to do in order to draw a fan base.
They put up the stadium, Pete. Okay. And again, if you're in Ybor City, it is so difficult to get in and out. I agree with Tampa. Don't get me wrong. It's where it goes in Tampa is going to be the problem. North Tampa somewhere would be really palatable. It's going to be a lot easier to get to. But if you're going to try to put a stadium in Ybor City, anywhere in the vicinity where the Amalie Arena is, this is not easy, guys. This is not easy. You talk about a log jam. You can't even improve the roads. They can't even put another overpass over I-4 to get it even better.
Here's my ultimate solution.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go and talk about it on the field.
Let's.
Sorry.
There's a few areas on Dale Mabry you can knock down. There's a few like old strip clubs you could just knock over. A few dealerships you can knock over and just put a stadium right there.
Well, that's true. You can do that. You can.
It's true. And Ybor is not going to. All I hear about with the ownership group is the way they're going to be able to financially.
Can they share the parking lot? Maybe.
Well,
they can probably share the parking lot,
just like Rivers does with 2001. It works. It's like a simpatico. But here's the thing:
that would work. Can that happen?
I hear though the way that the owners of the Rays, the new owners of the Rays, are going to be able to offset the costs of $1.7 billion for the team, another $1 billion for a stadium, is they're going to build this grand entertainment district, which actually sounds good on paper. But if you're trying to build a grand entertainment district on that 13 by 25 feet in Ybor City they have on the water there where they're going to build a stadium, there's no entertainment district. And at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that all the T's don't cross, the I's don't dot. I'm not saying it's not going to get done. It has to get done. Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay. But we had a deal over here. It was going to get done. We already financially had a way to pay for it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll stop. I'm just saying that I still have to see how it's going to get done in Tampa.
That's the difference. You don't have Stu Sternberg a part of this equation. That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's like,
let me ask you guys.
You could stick it in Clearwater where Hogan's house is.
Al, let me ask you this: Would you rather have an owner of a baseball team like Stu Sternberg, who's accused of being cheap, but has been the 5th best team in the entire league for the last 15 years? Or would you rather have a great owner who's going to buy into everything, but you're lucky to average 3rd place and you're shooting for the moon once every 5 years? As a baseball fan, not just a Rays fan, Tampa Bay, as a baseball fan, would you rather have a team that's in contention year in and year out, or a team that shoots for the moon every 5 years and has to redo because they gave big contracts to big bats?
Because the last 2 years they've been in contention, right?
They haven't, but they've been in contention more in the last 10 than the rest of the league.
That destroys your point.
My point is, we've got a team that's competitive. We're still competitive in 2025.
And you've got an ownership that has burned bridges not only in Tampa but also in St.
Wow, I'm the moderator, Peter. You get that point again.
Major League Baseball has basically said, listen, we're done with this nonsense. We've done the revenue sharing. Whether you want to believe this or not, right?
You're not going to stop revenue sharing, Pete.
Here's the thing.
They're not going to stop. There's 6 other cities that get revenue sharing. They're not going to all of a sudden say, okay, the Rays are out, then we're going to go and give our money back too. We'll try to make it work.
He has not
I'm going to give you that point on this one.
Yes, he's not taken the money and invested in the product. Whether they have been competitive or not, it's not going to get it done. Don't care how competitive they are. When you have Yankee fans that you have to compete with that go for it every year and win championships in their history, I know they haven't won anything lately, but they go for it. They try. The Red Sox do the same thing every year. It doesn't cut it. And then once again, when you have 2 ownerships like Jeff Finnick in the Tampa Bay Lightning, like the Glazers with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who continue to invest in their product, go all in, endear themselves to fans. Once again, why are we having this conversation of why fans don't show up? I wouldn't show up either. It is the equivalent of going for filet mignon at Outback Steakhouse and selling for the $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
I'm not saying Rays fans haven't shown up. I'm just saying in 2025 across the bay there, even in April, they didn't show up.
They have shown up because
we'll pray to God that the attendance goes up when Beelzebub sells the team, or if they already have sold a team, or if Zalewski's calling shots. Who knows? And I still can't believe there's 29 other Major League Baseball owners that are all going, yeah, Manfred, push him out. But then a year from now, when Bob Nutting from the Pirates, when he wants to cut his salaries again, he's got to worry about Manfred pushing him out because the precedent's been set that the commissioner can get rid of a baseball league, major league owner. And you guys know the commissioner. Who does he work for, guys?
Well, because your narrative.
Who does commissioner work for?
The narrative here is you're a 5th grader and you want to say, nana boo boo.
Who's the commissioner work for? Harry, who's the commissioner work for?
He works for the owners. And by the way,
for 30 owners. So one of them, they're going to allow to put one of them on a fillet.
the owners are the ones that said we don't want to deal with Stu Sternberg anymore.
Because they're pissed off that he gets a competitive team every year in a small market. Because they're not.
Guys, I think the narrative here is we're dealing with a lot of what ifs and what could be. Because look, nothing has been done yet for the Tampa deal at all. Like it's going to be finalized.
That's right, L. Nothing's been done.
Well,
done, and you will be eating your words. Like
I'm not saying I won't eat them.
Guys, I gotta do the mic. Harry, hold on. Listen.
Would you like?
I think right now with what we're waiting on is the deal to get finalized. We're looking at future stuff about stadium and attendance and all that. Like let's get the deal.
Yeah, forget it.
Let's get the deal done first, and then let the wheels in motion happen with the new ownership group and what they want to do.
The only point that I was trying to stir. That's all. Was this?
Well, I mean,
it's really important on where they're going to put the stadium.
This whole narrative or this thought process of, well, the Lightning have to win at all costs, and people show up. Why do people show up? Because they have that mindset, that attitude. The Bucs, the Glazers, they have their faults, but lately with Tom Brady, when Tom Brady came to town, they went all in. They've gone all in. They know what it's
the Bucs out of this.
But it is about the Bucs. It's about the ownership. I'm not taking any calls right now. We'll get back to the calls in a moment. The point
you don't want to call right now.
That is the point. That's the reason. Why do the Rays get slapped? Oh, they're the little sister of the poor, because you got media members out there that have absolutely slurped this stupid narrative that everybody has thrown out and swallowed it whole, instead of calling them out and holding them accountable like the other ownerships in this damn Bay Area. That's the reason why they're not drawing. We continue to talk about it, and you continue to sit there and say over and over again, they're competitive. Well, they're not competitive enough. They haven't won enough. What do they won? They won any World Series? Call me when they win a World Series. Call me when they win a championship.
They've won a bunch of wild cards.
Well, that's great. That is absolutely great. The Bucs have won 4 NFC titles, but also they have 2 Super Bowl championships. That's why they continue to draw. That's why people on this show want to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Because they have a salary cap. The NFL has a salary cap.
Pete, I got to go back to a little.
Baseball don't have a salary.
Pete, I'm with you on all fronts. I think what we just need to do is just kind of wait and see what the ownership group does, especially like when they take over the team. We don't even know what's going to happen in 2026. I think we should just wait, let the season end for 2025, close that chapter of the Stu Sternberg reign, and then let's move on to see what happens with this new ownership group and what their plans are. We don't even know what their plans are yet. They've hinted at details like, hey, we're going to put the team in Tampa. We don't know where yet. We're just still picking sites. Like we're just kind of grabbing stuff out of the air and saying, hey, we're already doomed for failure even with this new ownership group coming in. It's like, no, we're not. We don't even know what their plan is yet. I mean, I know they've hinted at, hey, we're going to spend money on free agents. We're going to attract people here. So let's trust the process of these guys coming in and figuring out where we're going to put the stadium at and what their plans are going forward. Because look, in the end, I said this on my show, the front office could look a lot different. The manager could look a lot different because of the way new ownership groups come in and say, okay, things have been going great for the longest time with Stu Sternberg and the front office with you guys have, but you guys haven't gone over the hump yet. You guys haven't reached the mountaintop. Maybe it's time for a fresh start and a new change overall with the personnel, the managers, everything. So we don't even know if they're going to be turning over people and jobs could be lost. I know Kevin Cash and Eric Neander got extensions, but there are ways of buying people out and changing hands and putting new people in place. So let's wait until this season ends, and then let's wait until the new ownership group comes in and see what they do for the team.
Yeah,
let's not forget though.
Give it a chance.
Because let's not forget though.
You've already said here that this group, because Stu Sternberg couldn't get it done in the last 15 years because he's done
Pete.
job. No.
I've got to repose, so we're good.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
I have a question.
Just because you get a new owner, just because you're not going to keep Eric Neander, you're not going to necessarily. Maybe you do keep the same pieces. You're going to have an entirely
good, but of course you don't know what their plan is.
Well, you don't know what their plan is. So we're going from having an owner that just wouldn't buy at the deadline, but we were right there. Now we got a whole new ownership group, which it may be better. They may bring in a Ron. They may bring in everybody. But if they don't,
boss, you've had an owner that has done everything and anything in his power to absolutely alienate every fan that is a Rays fan in this community by
including players.
Right, including players who have talked about it, who've talked to me in back channels about how poor this organization is. But, they win. No, they have to do more than win. You have to endear yourself to fans. You have to make
you got to. You have to.
I agree with that.
You have to go into the community. You have to give back. But ask me in 19 – hey, ask –
you can't be a snake oil salesman and try to not get a deal done in Ybor and try to have a money grab.
I'm not –
oh, no. But let's not bring that up.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I'm not going back to 1997 when baseball announces that they're giving us a team. I'm not like forget Stu because I'm going back to Namoli. I'm going back to Namoli.
About that. People
I'm going back to 97.
They don't want to
baseball,
deal with Major League. They don't want to deal with Sternberg. They don't want to deal with anything like that because they
don't want to because he's taking the money and kicking their asses. Of course they don't want to. They want FanDuel. They want Hard Rock. They don't want Stu Sternberg.
No, are we talking gambling now? Did I wake up?
Well, I'm just saying they don't want Stu Sternberg because he's taking his revenue sharing, which is still going to exist, and he's kicking their ass with it.
Stop.
Of course they don't.
You're a stupid.
Stop. Hold on. Stop. Just for 1 second. Just stop. Everybody collectively take a breath here, please.
I know because we're going to
collect a breath. I know that, but because I have something really good for the Bush. Okay, I try to segue into it. You got Adrian Hauser. I've watched him pitch. The kid's really not the grown man who's 32 years old is pitching a lights out. He's never pitched this good. But I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why did they give up Curtis Mead, Duncan DeVitt, and Ben Peoples? Which one of those pitchers that are in the minors is going to be major league ready by the end of the year? I have to ask you this, which, by the way, Curtis Mead, and I know what you're going to say, but I want to hear, why did they get rid of him?
You know, Harry, I think we've seen the type of player that Curtis Mead was. I mean, yeah, he had a great spring, but like this look, I know he hadn't gotten enough bats, but the amount of bats that he got weren't great. And, you know, we've seen the product on the field too when he took over at second base when Brandon Lau was injured too as well. I think with the Rays had an opportunity to pull the trigger on a pitcher that could replace Zach Littell. They had a chance and they did it. You know, I know they were in on Paddock too as well. So either way, they were going to make a move to bring in a starting pitcher. And look, when you're bringing in a starting pitcher, which Hauser as, you know, he's 6-2 when he was on the White Sox. If you're 6-2 on the,
he's 7-2 on the White Sox with a 2 ERA.
So if you're doing that on the White Sox, that's pretty damn good. And I think the Rays, who, you know, are a pretty good evaluator of talent, especially in the starting pitching position, saw a chance to get a guy like that who, yeah, I know a lot of people see him as a rental for now, but, you know, if he pans out pretty well, you could offer him an extension for maybe 1 or 2 years. And, you know, you have another guy that could eat innings in the rotation, but, you know, you're going to give up pieces. And I think Curtis Mead probably needs a change of scenery, and, you know, he'll look, the place where he went is a good place. And I think he just needed an opportunity to go somewhere else. And I think also too, you know, since they didn't trade Brandon Lau, you know, Lau's their guy, I think they're most likely will pick up his option in the offseason too to extend him out. So they do see the value of Brandon Lau to not trade him away. I mean, they could have gotten.
What if I told you that Brandon Lau was on that trade block for Adrian Hauser and the White Sox took Mead instead?
Hey,
this is getting a little bit more intriguing, isn't it?
Because that's intriguing. Well, you know, look, Mead's a younger guy too, so I'm sure they saw the value of him, and they say, hey, look, you know, we can maybe mold this guy into a second base starting pitching for our team and bring him over. So I think Mead had his chances. Mead had plenty of chances as a Ray, and you know he didn't pan out here. I mean,
there was a reason why the guy was batting almost 500 in the minors. I'm exaggerating, and cracking a homer every other game.
Yeah, because it's the minors.
Not just that, because everybody knows that in the minor leagues you're going to face some better pitching sometimes than you do in the majors. It's even
but when he got up here for the opening day spot, and when he was
this is the reason why this team is 3 games under 500 per my sources, who I trust very well, and according to Curtis Mead, and I don't care if this gets out. I'm not letting another story go by because someone says, please don't do something.
Sure.
Okay. That locker room is slightly toxic. And when you've got a young player like Curtis Mead going to the plate, who's cracking the ball all over the place in the minors, and he gets promoted up into the majors, and you've got the hitting coach, the assistant hitting coach, and the manager during the game changing his stance 3 different times. Anybody that knows anything about Curtis Mead is a very reserved young man. He's very quiet, and he felt extremely intimidated because everybody was pulling him in different directions. The moment he got shifted back into the minors, He was back to his normal self. This kid is going to prosper. And I'm not saying that because he's going to the White Sox. He just needed to get out of this organization. And let me tell you something, guys. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and you're going to hear a little bit more about it. This clubhouse is not as coherent as what people think. This sale of this team has created and started all this crap, which I talked about maybe on some of these previous shows. Hey, it's pretty hard to do what you're doing, but it's going to have to be a distraction. But when you've got multiple coaches trying to change different things with one player, Ray, Peter, and Evan, what is the major rule when you're going to change something? Do you change multiple things at one time, or you do one thing at a time?
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. And that's what they did with this kid.
Right. If you have too many leaders to answer to or too many voices, then it becomes confusing. Do you get that sense, Bush, that there is something going on with this clubhouse, if you will? We talk about Kevin Cash all the time making some questionable decisions. We don't even know if he's the one that's making these decisions at this point. What do you get from this team? What do you get from July? Do you think they can actually turn it around on the West Coast with some winnable games here versus the Angels?
Well, that's something we talked about on our latest episode, which is up on our YouTube page at the Sick Podcast Raise Rewind. Was just kind of the lack of spark that you get from in the clubhouse, especially from Kevin Cash. Like, I've been the biggest Kevin Cash defender for the very long time, but I think this year has kind of been the hardest, I think, on him. And you can see it in his face. You can see it in the decisions he's been making the past month and a half or so that have been questionable, especially when, yanking pitchers when you shouldn't be yanking pitchers. I mean, Joe Boyle was, doing pretty well this past weekend against the Dodgers, and he got yanked, I think, in the 5th inning. So, is it maybe come time to where he could have or maybe have lost the dugout? It could be. But I just don't see any. I see flat baseball from this team. I don't see the inspired baseball we saw back in June. I don't see that now. I just see kind of a team that's kind of exhausted and kind of just like trying to scrap their way to make some relevance going in the latter half in the last 2 months of the season to maybe have a 500 record or maybe somewhere close to it. Are they built to go to the wild card? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think they'll even make a stretch to where they can, touch that third wild card spot. I just don't think they're built for it. Unless, look, baseball is a weird game where teams get hot at the right moments. And, this is a tough road trip ahead of them. They don't really play well on the West Coast, and they've got some teams that are, headed to the playoffs, teams that are really good right now. And, it's going to be a tough one going for the next 2 weeks where they don't come back until the 19th, where they play a 2-game set against the Yankees. So, if they don't come out of this, and I said this today, if they don't come out of this road trip over 500 or close to 500, you can say that's a wrap on 2025 for the Rays because you're pretty much done. So
it's probably a wrap. But since what I told you and the information that I just shared, how does that make you feel, and how surprised are you about that?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all because, we've seen past prospects that have struggled and then they go on and they do pretty well at other teams. But, you've seen that too as players have come to the Rays and they struggled in past teams. They've done well here in Tampa Bay too as well. But, I don't know the inner workings of what they do inside. I don't have the sources that you do, Harry. So it could be true. Anything's possible. What you said before, where there's smoke, there's fire. So, there could be some truth to that. I do kind of think there is probably some inner turmoil in that clubhouse right now because just, the way things have gone this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if there has been just kind of like some inner turmoil between the coaches and the players and just, what they've been going through. Do I think the sale of the team has maybe been a distraction? I don't think so. I mean, if you're going to let the sale of the team be a distraction for you, then you shouldn't be playing baseball because your main job is to play the game, not worry about what the owner is going to be doing with the team. So,
L, can I ask you a question?
That's a good point.
That was a great point. Have we gotten to the point now here, August 4th, that are we going to be happy if we see Sugar Shane McClanahan to some extent this season?
No, he's done, man. If they bring him back, that'd be kind of a stupid move for them. I think they should just shut him down for the rest of the season, let him get healthy for 2026, and then when he's healthy, if he does well, trade him at the trade deadline next year and get a bunch back for him.
Well, El, let me ask you this though. Look at the moves the Rays made here at the trade deadline on Thursday. Would you agree though that we can look at all the moves? And Harry, you pointed out some of the moves they made and the reasons why. Did it not come across? And I'm asking you, El, because you know more than the rest of us here. Did it look like the Rays were like they were trying to be buyers, but they didn't want to fully commit, so they weren't selling, but they were kind of more than buying than selling, but yet they're still saying that they're still in the ring for this season? And I think that the Rays, like you said, this West Coast road trip, and especially the last 14 games of 2025, you look at the last 14 games we've played the Blue Jays 6 games, we played the Orioles, we also played the Red Sox. So when it comes to the end of the season, it seems like the Rays, as far as the American League East or maybe the wild card, it's in their hands, right? But this West Coast trip is so important for this Rays team to establish whether they're going to be contending or pretending for the rest of this season.
Yeah,
they'll be competitive. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think they'll hang in there, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them to be in that wild card conversation. They're going to try and play competitive baseball. That's why they didn't do a full on sale like they did last year, where they sold a bunch of big pieces and stuff like that. Yeah. Was it surprising that they made the moves they did? I was a little surprised. I really thought they were going to ship away Yandy and Pete Fairbanks and Brandon Lau, because those are the names that have been popped up.
Fairbanks just didn't have the trade value. But they just weren't going to give a lot from him because he's just too damn inconsistent. But Yandy, that surprised me.
That was a big name that was floated around where the Red Sox wanted him. But I know for a fact that the price that the Rays wanted back was a few of the one of the names was a MLB ready guy that was on the roster right now, and then one of their I think 2 or 3 of their top prospects that are in AAA right now that could be MLB ready next year. So the price is too high. But of course, you're not trading away. If you're the Red Sox, you're not going to shake up what you have, which the product in the field for them has gotten a lot better. And now they're the first wild card playoff spot right now. And they surpassed the Yankees, which the Yankees are in a free fall too. Another team that you could say, hey, fire Aaron Boone at the end of the year, but Cashman's too much of a chicken shit to do it anyways.
Caballero to the Yankees. Look, I mean, they're in our division. They're supposed to be our most hated rivalry. But we gave Caballero to the Yankees.
Yeah, you sure did. You see what he did for the
Yankees? Yeah, he lost the game.
Well, he had an error, but he also had some
little error. You watched the ball.
Look, another guy that the Rays valued alive, but I think too, it's what they saw, what they could get out of the Yankees. Which I love Pereira, man. I like him a lot. I think you'll probably see him pretty soon. Well, probably not this year, but maybe next year soon in the starting lineup. He's got a lot of pop in that bat. He's really good defensively in the outfield too as well. Again, it's you're trading for value of what you can get back. And what the Rays went into this trading deadline season was, we're done getting those prospects that you're probably not going to see for 4 or 5 years that are going to start in AA and work their way up. We want guys that are on the fringe of being MLB ready. And that's what they went in. That's what they got back. So, the moves that they made, they were surprising, but it also tells me too, they do have some confidence left on this team to where they can be competitive going down this final 2-month stretch and see what heck can happen. Again, look at past teams like I think the Tigers a couple of years ago were 10 games out and they went to the ALDS and they were 10 games out. So look, teams could catch fire at the right time and make a run for it. You never know. They could shut the door on July and this past weekend series against the Dodgers. They're playing the Dodgers. I mean, do you really expected them to sweep or win 2 out of the 3 against the Dodgers? Probably not.
That wasn't the worst series. I mean,
but you can still go into this West Coast trip as we have a job to do. Let's make it competitive. Let's see what we can do. Look, maybe get a cardboard cutout of Stu Sternberg, put him in a dress, and you can rip off every single piece.
Thank you. Major League That's what you need to do right there. And listen, the difference between the Dodgers and the Rays, besides money and spending and doing everything they need to do with Andrew Friedman, making a difference, trying to win a World Series almost every year, which the Rays don't. The fact of when you have first and third base, you got to get those guys in, and the Rays were unable to do that yesterday in a big spot of the game. Give the pitcher credit, but when you have those opportunities, those are the opportunities that good teams take advantage of, and that's the reason why the Rays right now are scuffling. One more point, and then we'll get you out of here, El. Appreciate the time, as always, on the evolution. Griffin Jacks, they acquire him for Taj Bradley. What's your thoughts on him? How do you think he helps this bullpen out going forward?
I think it helps them out greatly. I mean, especially going into next year where you have a guy under team control for the next 2 to 3 years and a guy that could possibly take over the closer position too going into next year too as well. I mean, he's the Jason Adam type that we had when we had Jason Adam here on the team a couple of years ago. So I love the move. Look, Taj Bradley, I think we knew for a while was one of those guys that was, the kind of the odd man out. And, I think having him pitch 7 no-hit innings the other night really helped his trade value out. And, Jax was one of those guys that I kind of had them on the list of Rays relievers that the Rays would probably go after if it wasn't for Clase, who, he had the gambling thing happen. And so was I surprised that they got him in a trade? Yeah, because it came out of left field. A lot of people were like, what? They got him? And they traded Taj Bradley? I mean, that's kind of surprising because, Taj Bradley's a hometown, drafted kid and, trade him for really a frontline reliever for the team. But of course, if you're gonna get that type of talent, you gotta trade away pieces like that for him. But I think Taj is probably gonna do well in Minnesota. Minnesota's on a reset, and he's probably gonna be a piece that's gonna help them out, especially in that rotation. Which there's another former Rays prospect, Joe Ryan, who's on that team as well. That was in a trade that he's over there now. So look. I think Taj will do great. I think he just needed a better set of scenery again, and I think that trade right now it's a win-win for both clubs because Griffin Jax is going to help out this reliever group for not this year but also next year and the years after that. So I think it's a great trade for both teams. Griffin Jax is a great reliever overall. So that trade came out of left field, but it was a good one. I think a lot of people applauded that one.
All right, L. Bushman, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television as we get out to Leo Haggerty here in just a moment.
Yeah, you can find me at the Rays Rewind podcast at the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also on Instagram at the Rays Rewind Pod. And then debuting on Wednesday nights is the first episode of Between the Uprights, my new NFL show.
Love it. Good stuff. We got to get you on here to talk Bucs football too.
Oh, yeah. I'm down, man. I've already kind of closed the book on the Rays. I'm kind of like 1 foot out. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of concentrating on NFL right now. I've got like NFL. I got fantasy football drafts coming up. I'm like, the Rays. All right, I'll still pay attention.
I got you. All right, my friend. Appreciate it as always. We'll see you next week. All right.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Hey,
all right.
Bush, be good, brother.
All right, Ray.
Back, man. You take care of yourself.
Ray, that humming. Can you fix that somehow, my friend?
I'm humming.
Yeah, it's humming.
No,
We'll get you out of here right now. Go ahead and fix that. Let me go out to this guy.
It's not.
Welcome, Dano.
Let me go out to Mr. Leo Haggerty. Yes, with the forehead shot there. Leo, welcome to the evolution of arguments here on a Monday night when it comes to the Rays. I do. Hold on a sec. I want to go out to the phone lines. So everybody stand by. Let's go out to Abraham. Abraham, welcome to the evolution. What's on your mind tonight?
What's up, guys? Hey, Ray, what's going on, man?
Ray's not here. Ray Ray
heard you calling him. He said he had to go.
He had to go.
Hey, Greek, man.
What's up, brother?
Met you, bro. You used to get on my nerves, but I guess that's your personality. You just know how to stir the pot.
Oh, I'm a shit stirrer, sir. And if I get on your nerves, I've done my job.
There you go. There you go. All right.
We good. I don't take it personally.
Okay.
But
good.
The thing about Ray is I want to talk about Kyle Trask, okay?
All right, good. I'm going to bring Ray right back in here. Ray, this phone call's for you.
All right.
That's better.
The thing is, I know that he doesn't have the reps. He's a veteran, but he doesn't have the game time experience. But, he's got chemistry with the players on the team. He's a homegrown product. And, yes, but what if you bring somebody from another team, just hire him out like, a veteran, okay, got experience, or like a Flacco. I know that Flacco's won a Super Bowl, but does he have the chemistry with his teammates, that camaraderie, that kind of, relationship? No. That's one of my biggest things. I mean,
if you get Joe Flacco, you need a walker to get him on the field.
Well, I believe he's still with the Browns at this point. They got like 500 quarterbacks in that Browns room. But what I think he meant is you're trying to bring in a veteran presence. Ray, I know how you felt about this. Let me go out to you, Leo Haggerty, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports. Bringing in a veteran because as we led off with this show, Baker has a hand contusion. More than likely, he's not going to play because you don't want to aggravate that. On top of it, this offense may get off to a slow start with not only a new offensive coordinator, but no Tristan Wirfs and no reps. So would it behoove the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go after a veteran? Once again, Leo, welcome to the Evolution.
Well, it's good to be on with the hardest working trio in Tampa Bay sports.
Thank you.
You know what, guys? I don't know, because to be a backup, you have to have a certain mentality. And a guy who was a starter that becomes a backup, that's a hard pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them can't do it. And again, I think the biggest thing is you're putting all the eggs in Baker's basket. Mm-hmm. And as long as he's lining up in January against the Panthers, you're probably going to be playing January football after that. Right. Got to keep him healthy. Got to find a way. Now, can you afford an insurance policy like a Flacco or someone else as opposed to Trask?
What was wrong with Case Keenum? He was available. He went to the Bears.
I know.
I mean, he's less money than Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
Who's also a proven winner. You can give you 3 or 4 games, and the propensity of what happens to, one Baker Mayfield, it could be almost inevitable. You could say that about any quarterback in the National Football League, Leo.
Yeah, and
because most starters are going to miss time.
Yeah, and I hope I'm wrong about this, but with Baker, every third year he gets banged up.
I know.
This is the third year.
Yeah, well,
better run that football, baby. They better run that football.
Oh, got to run the football.
Run the football. All right, Abraham, what else?
Well, I'm just saying, we're talking about so many hypothetical situations.
That's what we do. It's okay.
Yeah, so the bottom line is, if Baker gets hurt, let Trask get the rest. We get a veteran backup.
Okay.
Another veteran quarterback. But, I like to go with Trask in case of injury, because he's got the locker room. He's got good chemistry with the players. So,
how do we know that? But that's because we haven't seen him play.
We don't know anything, but at the end of the day, this kid's been proving it since high school. He proved it at UF. He's the reason why Jason Light gives this kid a $10 million 1-year, 5th-year contract beyond his rookie, because they realize this is a professional. And this is a professional football league. They need professionals. Now, you're right, Harry. He doesn't have a body of work. And Misador, bring him in here. We can bash Kyle all day long. But I'm telling you right now, I do not want to see Baker Mayfield anywhere but go into the sidelines on the fourth quarter, because we got a 13 or 25-point lead and we're letting our team just coast. But at the end of the day, if Kyle Trask has to step in, Baker has a ingrown toenail in week 11. I do not have a problem with the fact that Kyle could not go in there and lead this team to a functionable victory. Now, I'm not saying I don't want him to take over for the last 7 weeks. He's unproven. But the reason why you don't bring a veteran like Case Keenum is because Jason Light, who's the best general manager in all of football, he's evaluated this kid and he realizes this is the next man up he wants on this roster. I think it's a no-brainer.
You know what, guys? Let me throw this out at you. If Baker gets hurt now, or in the first 4 games of the season, I think you'll see them go to a veteran to try to bring in. Now, we're talking about he's got to be out, 8-10 weeks. I'm not comfortable with Trask coming in for that kind of period of time, only because they had a chance when Tom Brady was there to see what this kid could do.
Correct.
And they decided not to.
Yep.
And now they're putting, again, all the eggs are in Baker's basket. They got to make sure Baker is able to cook. And
he'll be baking. He'll be baking. And again, it's going to be a learning curve, Leo. And by the way, Leo, I feel remiss for not saying, hello, I haven't seen you in such a long time. It's great to see you. Ray, check your text messages, please. And Peter, I think life's going to be great. We're 5 weeks away, man. We're 5.
Well, we're 5 days away from the first preseason game there on Saturday night. But you're actually absolutely right, Harry the Greek. Appreciate the time here as always, my friend. All right.
Hey, I'm going to have to jump off, gentlemen. Seriously, it was a lot of great talk, a lot of great banter, and I have to ask Leo the same thing I asked all the people out there listening. Leo, I'm going to make a hat. It's going to be merch, and I'm going to let you get in on this if you want. It's not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get MAGA hats. And on the MAGA hat, it's going to say Make America Greek Again. And then on the back of it's going to have the Sports Web logo. Would you be a buyer?
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. And you have the big fat Greek wedding picture on the front with it,
No, it's just seriously the Sports Web logo on the side or on the back. Yeah. But on the front, MAGA with different lettering, because of course I don't want Trump coming after me. It says "Make America Greek Again." I think it would be great. I think we'd make a lot of money. And you know what?
When you go MAGA, when you get to the G, you put it in Greek alphabet.
Yeah, the Greek font would be. Oh my God, yes. Wouldn't that be cool, Ray?
Absolutely.
All right, Harry, appreciate it. Stand by here. Hold on a sec. Thank you very much,
Who's
Abraham.
Coming?
Hold on a sec. Let me go ahead and get out to this guy right here. Hold on a sec. All right. Curtis is on the line here. Harry, appreciate the time as always, my friend. All right.
You guys have a great one. Thank you so much for having me on. It was great.
Why do you always try to leave when I get on here?
Well, bro, I have to be honest with you. I'm going to tell everybody. Hold on. I'm going to tell everybody what I got to do. Okay. Right. No one's ever heard of this. They're giving a pick 5 away. They've bet already. Hold on. Here, I'll show you. Don't go anywhere. This is why.
Wow.
Don't be an ass.
Wow.
So far, they have bet $465,000. Okay. This track is called ASD. Okay, this is a very small track way up there in northern Canada. The name of the track is Assiniboia Downs. It was named after some kind of Indian tribe up there. But if you Google Assiniboia, okay, you'd never pronounce it that way. You're going to say I'm wrong. It's got so many different I call it the Ash Track in way northern Canada, eh? But yeah, I got to go. I've got to take care of this. It's a lot of coin up there, brother.
All right. We love you, Harry. Appreciate the time. We'll see you on Wednesday.
You anyway, Harry. Go do your thing, brother.
Curtis, have a great one, man.
All right, let's come out to the 2 shot here. Let's go right there. That's good. I guess we lost Ray. We'll get him back in just a little bit as he gets his sound check. Curtis, go ahead, man. What we were talking about tonight, Baker Mayfield, of course, hurt. How much confidence, how much concern do you have with him?
I'm not concerned.
Should the Bucs go out there and sign a veteran quarterback, in your opinion?
I don't think. I think he'll be all right.
So you have confidence in Kyle Trask going forward?
Dude, Baker's listen. In the words of the great Jim Ross, Baker's as tough as a $2 steak. All right.
That he is.
He is.
Yes.
So I think by the time the season starts, we'll be all right. I mean, we still got a month and 2 weeks.
Yes.
So yeah, he'll be all right.
All right. The other question I'm going to ask Leo, and then I want you to hold on the line here, Curtis. And again, we've been asking webheads for the night. Should the Bucs make a play for a Micah Parsons? Last week, Leo was revealed that Parsons is looking to get out of Dallas. Of course, Myles Garrett tried the same thing. He got a contract extension. So do you think that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys would deal Parsons, and should the Bucs be interested? Yes or no?
They won't deal him. Peter.
Okay.
Who do the Cowboys open up with?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
In Philadelphia. First game.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Guess when Micah Parsons is going to get signed? That week. Maybe the day before the game. Jerry Jones wants to take away all the Philly luster of putting up that Super Bowl banner. Trust me. This is a done deal. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. And I think it's going to happen when they get to Philadelphia week. Because there is no worse. Peter, I can tell you, I had a shirt that used to say, and I wasn't the only one, I cheer for the Eagles and anybody playing the Cowboys. Anybody. So trust me, this is going to get done. It's just a matter of Jerry's picking the time, and it's going to be during Eagles week.
I want to go out to Curtis here. Curtis, if the Bucs,
I actually want to answer that question.
Okay,
but I have a question for Leo.
Go ahead.
Because Leo, we all know you're the man.
Yes.
And your experience is legendary. I will never not listen to you, and I appreciate you so much.
The check is in the mail, Leo. That's basically what he's saying at this
I'm
point.
getting
Go ahead.
excited.
Yes, you should be. I'm so excited.
Do you think Micah or Terry is needed more on their teams?
Well, he's talking about Terry McLaurin, the wide receiver for
Terry McLaurin. You don't want to take away from Jaden Daniels, who's going into his second year, and they're going to have 18 games of film on him. I think take that 19 games of film on him. You don't want to take away his. It's like Christmas. You just took away the big present under the tree. He's the only guy that can get deep for Washington.
Yeah.
Guess what? That changes the entire defensive dynamic. Yeah, Terry McLaurin is more important because, again, you hear the term offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. You're going to have to change that. To offense keeps you in the game until defense can win the championship.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
They got to score points. And believe me, you're going to play Philly twice. You're going to have to play the Cowboys twice. You better have all your weapons. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, and of course you got to depend on Deebo Samuel, who hasn't been able to stay healthy the last couple of years. So I like him as a 2, not necessarily as a 1. So McLaurin, trying to get a contract extension. And at the end of the day, these players are doing this in social media because this is their leverage. This is how you get something done at the end of the day. So Curtis, go ahead.
My thing is this.
Yeah.
And, I agree. I was listening to some things about it today. McDaniels is in his rookie contract, excuse me. Why wouldn't you pay Terry now?
Well, I agree with you on that. I would definitely want to pay him, but it comes down to a business.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen anybody argue about. You have a quarterback that has already shown you greatness,
right?
And then you have, besides your quarterback, the best player on your team, and you don't want to pay him.
Well,
what's wrong with you?
Well, I think it also comes down to negotiations, right? It's all about that. It's all about the business of football. So we don't know the inner workings of it. But yeah, looking at it on the surface, it doesn't necessarily seem like it's a smart move by Washington. But with Washington in that franchise trying to take that next step, if you will, get back to the NFC Championship game, Leo, you definitely got to sign a player like that. And I think they eventually will.
Guys, I can tell you what the big stumbling block is.
What's up?
Length of contract. McLaurin's 30. That's the magic number in the NFL. You hit 30, people start to question.
Yeah.
Like, I would sign him. I know McLaurin probably wants a 4 or 5 year deal. If I'm Washington, I'm giving you 2 years. I'm going to guarantee the money. That's the key. Guarantee the money for 2 years. Then you find out what's going on. That's the basic. But I got a question. Isn't he under contract this year still?
Yes, he is.
He is under contract, and I think what he sees is that Washington is making all these moves for other players, namely a Samuel, and he wants to earn that contract extension. He wants to get it done. You're exactly right. He's up there in age. So Washington, maybe not necessarily giving him all the years, but eventually I think they will figure that situation out. Curtis, thanks a lot for the call, man. We appreciate you as always. All right.
I do have one more question for you guys.
Go for it.
I know the Bucs play Saturday.
Yes.
Who are you most interested in watching?
Benjamin Morrison for this secondary. I'm anxious to see him because I think he's going to get a lot of reps. I think eventually he will take over that starting spot from a Jamel Dean because either he'll outplay him or Dean will get hurt. So I think that's the guy I'm looking forward to. Who are you looking forward to in the preseason?
Okay. I love that.
Okay.
I'm actually very interested to see what Kyle Trask looks like.
Okay.
If he has progressed any at all.
Okay.
Because that is going to tell us if we need a veteran quarterback.
Good point.
Because here's the thing.
Yep.
Before Baker got here, I was one of those guys to be like, give Trask a chance.
Right.
But I mean, he's so up or down in the preseason, we just don't know what we're going to get. But with Baker being out, I mean, I don't believe we're going to play a lot of the starters in this Tennessee game.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to have, I think they're going to want to see, Emeka out there. They're going to want to see a couple other people.
Right.
But I just want to see how he comes out and he controls the offense. Because, I mean, that to me is going to tell us everything we need to know. I mean, it's like when we had Winston and Fitzpatrick, we knew what Fitzmagic was going to come out and do because he was a veteran quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He controlled the offense. And it's like when Winston missed that handful of games for touching somebody or whatever he did in Arizona, we knew we were going to be okay. Right. Because Fitzmagic could give you a couple games.
Well, yeah, he gave you 3 games of 400 yards. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
all right.
I'm definitely interested to watch what Trask is going to do this weekend.
Okay.
I 100% agree with you, Peter.
Okay.
I'm definitely interested in Benjamin Morrison. They said that kid Parrish looks great.
Right.
And I'm also interested to see what Shiloh's going to do.
All right. I think Abraham would follow suit on that, and he'll probably call back and say that's his answer too, Shiloh Sanders. Curtis, appreciate the call as always, my friend. All right?
Always, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Good stuff there. Leo, and because we won't keep you on too long tonight, we'll call the left-hander. I know that you had a busy weekend, my friend, but what player are you looking forward to in the preseason? I get it. It's tough to it's all about evaluation. Everybody's not doing everything that you want them to do because you don't want to give anything away. But what player are you looking forward to seeing in this preseason for the Bucs?
Peter, what's the spot they need the most help in? Edge rusher. I want to see if Reddick plays, and I want to see what Braswell does. That's the biggest thing.
Okay. All right.
See if they learned anything. Peter, I got a question for you. Let me throw this out at you.
Go for it.
Baker's got to miss Tennessee and Pittsburgh, 2 preseason games. Say Trask lights it up. I mean, lights it up. Guess who starts that last preseason game against Buffalo? Baker Mayfield. I mean, you can sit here and talk all you want about competition.
Mm-hmm.
Coach wants competition at 21 positions. He doesn't want it at quarterback.
Yeah.
He wants to settle on a guy.
Agree.
And right now, the Bucs are settled on a guy. And I want to see Trask play well just to know that's what's a possibility down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But please don't sit there. And I wrote an article about preseason, how it really doesn't matter. And I don't know if you read it, Peter, but there are 4 teams that got to the Super Bowl that didn't win a preseason game, right? The 1990 Buffalo Bills and the 2000 New York Giants didn't win a Super Bowl and got there. Well, the Redskins didn't win one and won a Super Bowl, and so did the Rams. But here's the biggest telling statement.
Yes.
The Lions go 0-16. Guess what their record was in preseason?
4-0.
4-0.
Yeah, it really doesn't mean anything besides evaluation. And once again, they cut the preseason.
And you know what, Peter, please repeat that for everybody.
Yes.
What happens on the left side of the dash in preseason is not the prime directive. It's evaluation.
It's evaluation. It's also about staying healthy at this point. And already the Bucs have had their fair share of injuries. So hopefully they can get healthy. Leo Haggerty, we appreciate you as always. We'll see you on Wednesday night. All right, my friend?
Yeah, we got the left-hander. Got the left-hander coming in. Peter, always a pleasure to get on. Have a great day.
All right, good stuff there. Let me go out to Mr. Jason Powers on Sports Podcast, as we're moving in people in and out tonight. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. I got to correct Leo. I'm a righty. I play golf left-handed, but I'm a righty and everything else. I'm a righty.
I got you. All right. Good stuff, my friend. Doing some things with flag football. I mean, kind of talk about that a little bit, because we talked about it before, but kind of expound on what you were doing there over in Canton and with the NFL.
Yeah, we were up in Canton a couple weeks back with our flag championship flag football event. Up in Canton, we had over about 280 teams that participated from all over the country. Had some local teams here in the Tampa Bay area participate. I saw one Martin Grammatica in the building on site. I can't remember if I told you this or not, Peter Blake. You know who else I saw on the property during the weekend?
The Undertaker's daughter, I believe, right?
The Undertaker. No, the Undertaker was there.
Yeah.
So, fun time in Canton. Had a good time. Lot of teams, and so we had a good event. So I'm glad that is over. A lot of work.
I wanted to go back to that because I don't know, a lot of people caught that. You're involved with the flag football thing, and it's become a big deal at this juncture. Also being a big deal, or maybe not a big deal at this juncture, would be Baker Mayfield being hurt. How concerned are you? Do you think he gets any preseason snaps? If he doesn't get any preseason snaps, do you think this is where the Bucs may get off to a slow start, not only with Josh Grizzard as being the new offensive coordinator, but also not having possibly Tristan Wirfs?
It would be a concern if he doesn't play at all in the preseason. I would say that. I mean, I would worry about rustiness and rhythm and all that stuff. I get a feeling he probably won't play this week, but I got a feeling one of the last two games he will be out there with the offense for a quarter or a half, something to get some rhythm. Because again, you don't want to. More and more teams do not want to go through the entire preseason without playing their starters a little bit. You got to play them a little bit to get them a little rhythm, to get them a little game action. So I think if he doesn't play in the preseason, I would be a little concerned. But I got a feeling he's going to play at some point, second, third game for a quarter or a half or something.
It's become an annual question on this show and a lot of Bucs fans' minds. Kyle Trask taking the controls there. You have confidence. I know it's going to be preseason. I'll go back to this. Knock on wood, because a lot of people have said on this show Baker Mayfield may get hurt. Do you have any confidence in Kyle Trask? Have you seen anything? If you see something in preseason, do you have more confidence? I mean, what do you think about Mr. Trask at the controls?
Again, we've never had to see him play any extended minutes from a game perspective. Brady never got hurt. Baker's really not been hurt, so we really don't know the true effect of what he can do. I think he could be functional. I think he would do a good job. Is he going to throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns? Probably not. They would lean on the running game more, but I think Trask is a very good play-action guy. I think he's been in the league now 4 years, so I think he knows this offense. I think Kyle Trask would do a very adequate. If he had to play for 3 or 4 weeks, I'd feel very confident the Bucs could go 2-2, no doubt, with Kyle Trask at the helm.
All right, functional is the word of the night here, because that's exactly what Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy said. We also talked about a veteran with the Bucs injuries at the quarterback situation. Do you think there's a possibility, or should they have signed a veteran at this point?
No, Kyle Trask is a veteran at this point. He's been in the league 4 years. Okay. We're going to go sign who? Who are we going to go sign? Kenny Pickett? Joe Flacco? Really? I'll take Kyle Trask.
I thought Flacco was a part of that quarterback parade there with the Browns.
He is. I mean, but my point is that kind of guy. I mean, are we going to no, I'll take Kyle Trask all day. Let's go.
All right, let's go with Kyle Trask. All right, the other question of the night. Micah Parsons is out there on the trading block.
Yep.
I don't think he gets traded from the Dallas Cowboys. I think I think it's leverage. Should the Bucs be interested? Why or why not? Because some people said be interested, but then again, it's in the framework of a Khalil Mack deal where you have to give up multiple first-round picks and possibly multiple players at this point. Possibly a Yaya Diaby, which is what the radio station 95.3 620 WDAE threw out their proposal. So you willing to do that and then on top of it, pay him.
You got to pay him. You got to pay him $45 million. Yeah. I mean, if the Bucs, I'm a proponent of doing something like that if that was ever a possibility. Would I give up 2 1s and a player for Micah Parsons? I would. Diaby's we think he's pretty good, but we know Micah Parsons is elite and is a game wrecker. And the Bucs have not had a game wrecker at that position in a long time. Would I do it personally? Probably, because guess what? You're probably going to be drafted in the 20s, late 20s. So would you not give up 2 picks in the 20s and a player, maybe even a guy like a Jamel Dean or something like that to make the money work a little bit evener? I would. I'd give up a 1, Diaby, and another player if I had to. I'd do it.
All right.
I would.
Well, you're not the only one. NFL.com's lead draft writer Eric Edholm believes the Buccaneers could be the top landing spot. He has this to say. He says, adding Parsons is the kind of move that could put a team like the Bucs over the top.
Sure.
He says, while Tampa Bay added veteran edge rusher Hassan Reddick this offseason, Micah Parsons would represent an immense upgrade at the position. Parsons is one of the only 7 players, get this, to record at least 50 sacks over their first 4 seasons, according to StatMuse. Of the 6 other players, 4 are already in the Hall of Fame, and J.J. Watt would likely be a first-ballot Hall of Famer in 2028. Yeah. He also says would instantly add some real juice to a pass rush that went stale too often last season. That's not really in the Jason Light makeup, if you will. He made moves before for Gronkowski and Leonard Fournette in free agency, but not a big blockbuster trade where you make that happen. So I could understand it, but then again, the implications of the cap, I get it. You can maneuver the cap, make the cap what you want it to. But I know a lot of Bucs fans are concerned about losing players, possibly a Luke Gedeke, who's coming on a contract extension.
You can't pay them all, man. Like we all want to pay them all, but you can't pay them all. So, Gedeke, he's very likely to probably get a huge offer from somebody this offseason. Sure, we'd love to keep him. But again, if somebody offers him, $25 million, I'm probably not keeping Luke Gedeke at $25 million. Now, he may be worth it. I'm sure somebody's willing to do it. I know that. But I'm not paying, a right tackle $25 million at the expense of 2 more defensive players or something along those lines. Again, good player, but I would trust Jason Light to be able to draft somebody. You could fill that hole. You're going to have to pay Cody Malk potentially in a year or 2. You're going to have to pay Graham Barton in another couple of years. You can't have that much money tied up at one position.
All right. Fair enough. Let's go out to Sun Devil Dave here. We'll go out to the comments, webheads. I don't want to neglect you tonight. Hold on, Greek, from ESPN. The Chicago White Sox average home attendance for 2025 is 23,000. The figure ranks them 27th out of 30 Major League Baseball teams, according to ESPN. Ed Ero here, thank you very much for tuning in. Peter, great show, bro. Let's go Lions. I don't know about the Let's Go Lions, but thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Recon Scott says, I think they're going to renovate Trop instead of build a new stadium. That's definitely not happening.
No chance.
No chance. We talked Rays tonight in a passionate discussion, if you will. Truly, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Rays are averaging 9,800 per game in a 10,000 stadium this year. Exactly. Miami is thriving. Gabrielle says, Harry.
Thriving? What?
Yeah.
What Miami is thriving?
Right. I don't know what they're thriving with. What are they thriving with?
Recon Scout, what are we thriving with? We need another response there.
Yeah. I don't know what they're thriving. What in party scene? How to party?
Yeah, they know how to do that. Hot women, they got some good scenery down there, I'm sure.
Plenty of talent down there, plenty of things to do that don't involve baseball teams, basketball teams, hell, even football teams. They don't show up. Nothing about that is thriving besides their party atmosphere. Greek looks like the cat that swallowed the canary, stirring the pot as usual, says Cole. Time out. Ray suck. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate you as always, offering absolutely nothing.
That's great not to suck right now.
Yes.
You and I need to do before this season, because I've not been yet.
Yes.
We need to go to a Rays game together.
We definitely need to go to a Rays game together. Me, you, Ray, Harry, Al Bushman, all of us together.
Get us the hookup, man. Get us the hookup. I know you got people over there, got some connections with tickets and peeps over there.
All right. All right, we'll see if I can work on that. All right, let's go out to this guy right here.
Damn it, Jim, what the hell is the matter with you?
Jim, you're on with yours truly, along with Powers on Sports Podcast, Mr. Media Superstar himself, Mr. Jason Powers of Spectrum 360. Go ahead.
Did you see the National Baseball League, major baseball league? They did a game in Race Car Stadium.
You mean
Bristol, Tennessee, baby.
Yes, Bristol.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you think of that?
I like it.
Well, yeah, it looks good besides the weather situation, of course. You can never plan for that.
I don't know about them Reds, but one of my teams was there.
Well, I know you love the Reds. You were definitely bragging last weekend when they swept the Rays out. So I understand. Yes.
I was like, what happened to them Rays? They can't win a game.
They can't win. Couldn't win a game. Yeah, it was pitiful. Pitiful.
And in facing a 12-game road trip starting tonight. How about that?
Yeah, against the Angels.
I mean, the Reds will give you a game. They'll give you a game. They can take one.
Sure.
The Rays have 18 of the next 23 on the road the rest of August. How about that?
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough road. So
are they gonna make it to October?
They're cooked. We talked about this on Spectrum Sports last night. They are, in my view, cooked.
Well,
Your Reds are in it though, right? Your Reds are still in the wild card hunt.
We still in it, but they always fight. It'll be close. They make it 1 or 2 games. If they make it,
They made some good. They made a couple of trades at the deadline. They got you got to love Francona as the manager, right? Got De La Cruz, franchise player. You got some good players around him, man. I like what Cincinnati's doing.
Well,
they fight. Hopefully they'll make it.
All right, Jim, we've been talking Bucs tonight. How concerned are you with Baker Mayfield and his injury?
I think it's just a preseason. Let's let him sit out, tape it up. I wouldn't care if he didn't play no preseason games.
He may not. So if he does not play any preseason games, do you still have confidence that this offense will still be okay? Or do you think they could get off to a rough start?
No, we'll be all right.
Okay. All right.
So,
and Kyle Trask.
Let these rookies play anyway. Yeah, trash. He'd be all right.
He's trash.
Come on, man.
All right, Jim. Appreciate the call as always, man. Anything else? All right. Good stuff.
No, that's it. I'll let y'all go.
All right, good stuff. He said Kyle Trask is trash.
Okay, in your view, Peter Blake, is Kyle Trask better than Cooper Rush? Baltimore Ravens backup, Lamar's backup. What do you think of that?
Cooper Rush is a damn good backup. He's won games. He's been able to win some games.
Because he's had opportunities to play. Trask has never had an opportunity to play, first of all, okay? All right. Is Trask better than Russell Wilson?
No.
At this stage?
No.
You don't think?
I'll take Russell Wilson at this point.
Is Trask better than Mason Rudolph? Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think he's definitely better than Mason Rudolph. I think Kyle Rudolph, the former tight end, I would take him over.
Is he better than Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, I'd take him over Kenny Pickett. Yeah.
Is he better than Marcus Mariota? Backs up Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, he's been. Is Mariota still in the league?
I think with Washington. I think he's with Washington.
That's amazing to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I would take Kyle Trask over him. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Kyle Trask is in the top half of the backups in this league. Top 15 of backups.
So you don't expect this team to, because they still may make a move here because Pratt is hurt. They've got another backup there, so they may make a move.
They may bring a camp body in, a third string guy, but they're not bringing anybody that's going to challenge Kyle Trask.
All right. Let's go to New Orleans going to install their guys. Absolutely. Will the ball still be lost in the new roof? Hopefully not. Roger says, go Cubs, go. Christopher Cole, New owners are going to evaluate for a year and then decide what to do. Exactly. Thank you. Harry Berg, have fun.
We're referring to what? What are you talking about?
For the Rays, their new ownership.
Evaluating what? The manager? The front office?
Evaluating everything. Evaluating the players, front office, manager. Nope. I think everybody's under evaluation. I think it kind of works like with the Bucs every year. Like if they don't do good, then everybody's under evaluation. If players are under evaluation, coaches are under that. I think the same thing with the Rays. No matter how much success they've had throughout the years, the last 2 years here, they have struggled. So everybody at this point is under evaluation. Meat is young and horrible. The bright lights were too bright for him. Addition by subtraction, in my opinion, bullpen was a problem in July. I think they need to have 7 wins minimum on this trip. Again, baseball talk.
Yeah.
Play good with the ones in camp, but it's underwear Olympics. Cole, he works hard, but Ray, the prospect of him starting on this team frightens me more than my ex having full custody of my That's good. Yeah. That's good. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Parson isn't that man. Do you agree with that? Because a lot of people say $42 million. He does have the sacks, but he also seems like a player that's more concerned about his social media status, if you will, the likes and the follows. And I get it. That's the common athlete also about podcast. Is he the guy that you think can take over games, that can make that next step like a Myles Garrett, if you will?
I think he's already taken over a lot of games in his first 4 years. There's been plenty of games when he's been a game wrecker in his career. I mean, you can make the argument more games. He's probably wrecked more games in the first 4 or 5 years of the career than Myles Garrett did. Myles Garrett's been good the last 2 or 3 years where he's been elite. If you had a chance to get Micah Parsons, and you had to get rid of you had to come off of a 1 and a player, maybe even 2 1s, I'd do it.
Yeah, I think you definitely make the case of doing it. You don't trade for Parsons. Cowboys will want to much more. Also, his contract will cause the Bucs to many players via free agency. Plus, they don't have the cap space to bring him back. Also, which we have not mentioned, and this was brought up by our good friends from Pewter Report there, Scott Reynolds, doing great work as always over there. The Cowboys can franchise him the next 2 years.
They're not.
Yeah.
The chances of them trading Micah Parsons is this, and it will go down. What has Jerry always done? He's taken too long to extend the guys he needs to extend. But guess what he always does? He extends them. He may pay more than he has to by waiting, but he ain't letting Micah Parsons walk out the door when Jerry's 80 years old. Jerry's on the last 2 to 3 years of his run as the GM here. He ain't letting Micah Parsons walk out the door and turn this into a rebuild.
And I think it goes back to what Leo said. You may wait until the Philadelphia game, but that could be a mistake because you're not getting those reps in training camp. And I get it, Parsons has played before, but that could be a mistake. And this is what the Cowboys do wrong almost every year. They wait too long. They waited too long with the Dak Prescott extension. Trask force that Baker can't go. Cole says exactly right. David says everybody says Baker gets hurt every 3 years. I don't remember him getting hurt. The year he got passed around the league from the Browns to the Panthers to the Rams, he played 2 years for us. So there's 3 years of not being injured, has not been injured with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or missed a game. Not worried about Baker. He's going to be fine. Mike D. Roche there in Canada. Hey, Peter, I'm looking forward to seeing Emeka and Dion's kid. We'll get back to that in a moment because I'll ask you the question. The TLC ladder match was lame and boring. It was to a certain
degree. By the way, you know what I started watching the other night that you'll like this? I started watching the WWE Unreal on Netflix, the doc.
Everybody has watched that besides me. And you know what? After the show, I've got to make a point because I've been driving the Tesla all weekend doing the 12-hour shifts. So when I got up this morning, I was like, okay, I'm going to do a show tonight, but I'm going to make a point not only to hang out with Alexander and take him out, of course, for a walk, but also watch this damn show that I haven't watched yet. Because
I watched the first 2 episodes. Pretty good so far. I didn't think I was going to be into it, but some of the behind-the-scenes stuff's pretty cool. I got to give him credit for all the behind-the-scenes stuff that the average fan usually doesn't get to see.
There you go. You got to love that. Does it take away from the mystique? Because I always say, look, Hard Knocks is every year. We enjoy that. But does it take away from it? Do you ever get tired? Do you ever just want to be – I don't know. I guess the word I'm looking for is you want to be I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Like you
want to be in fantasy land.
Yes. Well, it's like the home run chase, right? In 96 there with McGuire and Sosa, and then you find out that it's all pharmaceutical drugs. I mean, you're kind of let down. Do Do you kind of want to be like that? Like, you don't want to be let down. You don't want everything. You don't want to know everything that's behind the curtain when it comes to the NFL, when it comes to wrestling, because it kind of ruins the mistake, if you will.
A little bit. You can make that argument because they get very in depth on this documentary as far as choreographing and how they come up with storylines and just all the things that go into it. You can make that argument. But I would say, for example, the home run derby, say what you want, you still got to hit the ball in the middle of the barrel of the bat. I know you get a little help with the steroids and all that stuff, but boy, you still got to hit the ball in the barrel of the bat for it to go 350 feet.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that. So don't start with the steroids in baseball because you know how I feel about it. I'm waiting to see the OL depth battle.
Yeah.
James says, question, why are the Bucs keeping Watson around? It seems so stupid to keep him on the training camp roster if they're not going to let him practice, taking up a spot for a player. What do you make of that situation with Desmond Watson? He hasn't practiced. We see him walking on the sideline. We kind of knew this coming in. He was a raw prospect, possibly a camp body, but also that the Bucs wanted him to lose some amount of weight. He hasn't been able to do that. So what do you make, Jason Powers, of this Watson situation? And do you think it's going to be what it is, that eventually he'll either be off this team or on the practice squad and he'll play next year, make an impact next year?
Oh, he's not making the active roster. He's going to be a practice squad guy at best this year. Because you're right, you can't play at 420 pounds. Say which I don't care how good you think you are. You can't play in that league at 420. Could he play at 380? Yeah, I probably could. And again, what's the investment the Bucs are really out? He's an undrafted free agent. Let's say he's the 90th guy on the roster right now, because that's what he is, because he's not practicing. That 90th guy is not getting a lot of reps in practice. I don't have any problem with what they're doing with Desmond Watson. If he what they are trying to do, in my opinion, with him, they are putting him to the ultimate test. Are you going to stick to the plan we've put in front of you from an exercise perspective, from an eating perspective, from a structure perspective? If you do, we're probably going to keep you on the practice squad. We're going to give you a year to get your body in shape. But if you don't, then you're gone. I think this is a personal test to Desmond Watson. I think they're gonna keep him on the roster. As far as the practice squad, he ain't making the active roster, so no need to worry about that. But they're testing this guy. Nobody's ever done this to this guy before. This is big boy football here. This ain't you're not playing against Mississippi State at Florida, where you can get away with being 420 and not be able to move around. I like what the Bucs are doing here.
All right, good stuff there from Jason Powers. Powers on Sports Podcast, of course, Spectrum 360. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter here on a Monday night. Is Levante David a first ballot Hall of Famer in Canton? First ballot for me, he's a Hall of Famer. And
not first ballot.
I don't know about first. Well, I tell you right now, I think he could definitely be first ballot, and why is because his numbers are very comparable to the linebackers in this era. Furthermore, I think what gets taken away from him is the fact that he's played for Buccaneer losing teams. People look at that. But as a guy that is one of the top linebackers in the era, maybe in Bucs history, definitely, in my opinion, he's a Hall of Famer and maybe a first ballot Hall of Fame. Tell you what, Mike DeRoche, I got a treat for you. After this interview, we will go out to the Levante David interview that I did just a couple months ago and hear what David had to say when I asked him that exact question. Is he a Hall of Famer? How about that? I'm concerned. 6-14-78. What's the story of the injuries? A lot of people keep on talking about the injury situation. My thing is this. I think it's first, injuries are a part of the game, Jason Powers. Second, it doesn't help when you have players that are not getting the reps like they used to. You're not having all these practices. You're not having all this practice time. I think it's bound to happen. It is just what it is, right?
I'm more worried about Tristan Wirfs' injury than I am anybody else. That's the one that for me is the most problematic potentially. Knee injury. You hope the surgery fixed what needs to be fixed. Reps. I think to some degree, reps this time of the year is a little overrated. Does Tristan Wirfs need another 3 weeks of reps to be ready for the regular season? I don't think so. But I worry about his physical conditioning. I worry about is the knee structurally sound, all that stuff. Maybe make the argument a little more for Baker. But again, if Baker has 2.5 weeks to get ready for the season opener, I'm plenty good with how that's going. I'd love to see him play 2 or 3 series in one of the second or the third game, preseason game. But if worst case he doesn't play, then you lean on the running game in week 1 a little more than you would normally. You give Bucky Irving 20 carries, you got Rashad White, lean on that offensive line, and you go try to win the game with a little more balanced attack. But again, Baker knows this offense. It's not like it's a brand new offense. They all know the basic terminology. The concepts are very similar to last year. Not as concerned as some people think.
All right, let me go out to Dave here. Trask played in the SEC, was a very good starter. The fact that he hasn't gotten a chance to actually play more than 6 minutes of true NFL football, people need to back off this guy. He's still a big question mark. Preseason doesn't count. Again, I understand that, but you don't know. You just don't know, and I don't know if I have confidence going into it because of that. Tez Johnson injury, does that affect him making the team? Hopefully. I didn't hear about the Tez Johnson injury.
I didn't either.
Is there an injury with Tez Johnson at this point? Because I didn't hear about it. No. I didn't hear about a Tez Johnson injury. Let me look this up really quick.
And always remember, guys, if a team wants to keep a guy and they're nervous about another team picking him up, you can always put him on injured reserve.
Yeah, I don't see that injury, so you have to go ahead and be more. I didn't see it.
And by the way, if preseason doesn't matter, Peter Blake, why are we so concerned when we go watch a preseason practice that, so-and-so's dominating, so-and-so's doing this, so-and-so's not doing that? Of course these reps matter. Well, are you gonna be concerned if Benjamin Morrison gets charbroiled for 2 touchdowns on Saturday against Tennessee in the game? Are they going to make you concerned? Of course it is.
Well, I would say this, though, if he has a short memory, because here's what you learn about Morrison. He does get toasted and roasted by Mike Evans for 35 yards and then comes back the very next play and makes a play for an interception.
But if he's getting roasted by a third stringer in Tennessee,
well, that'd definitely be concern. You would have some concern. But that's kind of what it doesn't matter for the starters, if you will. What it matters for is the young players like a Morrison for that evaluation process, and then also to stay healthy. Now, I mentioned this, I put this out there for the web heads. Who's the player that you're most looking forward to seeing when it comes to the preseason this year?
Couple guys. I want to see Charlie Heck get some action at left tackle. I also want to see, I know Leo mentioned Chris Braswell. That's another guy. But I also want to see Parrish and Morrison against NFL quality type receivers, even if they're second string guys. I know they've done well against the Buck guys to some degree, but they knew kind of after you practice with these guys for 2 and 3 weeks, you know what routes are coming and all that. I want to see them against different guys, different offense. Again, I think they're going to be good players for us, but I want to see rookie corners. I don't care how good we think they are. It's a different league in this league. You know, guys that they could cover in college are stronger, more physical, better route runners in the pros. I want to see those guys stand up to NFL wide receivers.
Yeah, and I think the next question for me will be on Wednesday. What's the position grouping? I can already give it away. I think it's the corner situation and think it's also the secondary. I want to see – I know you're not going to get a chance to see Antoine Winfield Jr. a lot, but you're going to possibly get a chance to see Tyke Smith. You're going to get a chance to see a Parrish and a Morrison and a Shiloh
Sanders.
Yeah. I'm
going to see if Shiloh can play.
Yeah. All right. What's wrong with Baker? Hand contusion at this point, day to day, as we all are, as a sports broadcaster used to say. Will there be a wrestling talk tonight? Not tonight. Wednesday night. We will put that off for tonight. Devin Culp, curious to see after camp. He's been having, from what I saw, because I went out there on Friday, braved the heat. Everything that was in front of me, he caught. He's been impressive. He was impressive. I mean, that's a player right there. May get an opportunity earlier than expected because Cade Otton is also a little bit banged up, right?
Yes, and Payne Durham's shown some flashes last year. I think that could be a position where at the end of this year, again, from a financial perspective, where you remember we talked about you can't pay everybody. Yeah. That could be a spot where Cade Otton gets, is allowed to go to free agency, and if he get, where you want to save some money, you can't pay Cade Otton $12-15 million to be a tight end. Good player, but you can, if you can utilize Colt, Payne Durham, draft somebody, you can afford to let Cade Otton go to free agency. So I think that's a position to look out for this year, guys, fans. That the Bucs could absolutely go at a younger pace next year, save some dollars on the salary cap by not paying Cade Otton. Because, again, I know Cade's good, but is he all-pro good? I don't think so. Good player, not great.
All right, man. We appreciate the time as always, Jason Powers. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
You got it. Powers on Sports podcast. We're going to start our NFL divisional previews this week, talking a little college football as well as we ramp up to college football season in 3 weeks. So check it out, Powers on Sports podcast. We'll have our Florida Football Insiders podcast starting at week 1 of the college football season, talking all things state of Florida college football. And check us out on Spectrum 360. I'll be on a couple episodes this week. We were on last night. We're going to be on, I think, Tuesday night, and I think on the weekend as well. So check out Spectrum Sports 360, Bay News 9, and Spectrum News 13 if you're in the Orlando market. So,
all right, I want to go to this because we never said anything. We just said it was a hand contusion. We didn't say, but hand contusion, how can you not know to say if it's a throwing hand or not? Horrible, because I wasn't there at practice, and I know he hit his head on – what have you heard about that hand contusion? Is it his throwing hand or is it the other hand at this point?
I would guess it's his throwing hand would be my guess.
I would say too if he's not working out right now. Okay,
yeah.
So let's answer your. So Forever Green Trees, Georgia, whomever you are, that's the reason why he's missing. See, I don't think. Here's the thing. Like I'm going to be a smart ass because you wanted to be a smart ass to me on this show. I do not think that Baker Mayfield would miss any time with a hand contusion on his opposing hand if it wasn't his throwing hand, right? I think it'd be his throwing hand. Can we have common sense here tonight, or we just want to be smart asses and trolls on this show? You want to be a smart ass and a troll, then I'll go ahead and troll you back. Okay? Okay, cool.
Here's what I would say. If it was not his throwing hand, I think you would see him at doing some of the drills at practice, just no 7-on-7 and no full 11-on-11 drills. If it's if it was his left hand, I think it's clearly he probably hit his hand on a helmet, on a follow through, on a drill would be my guess is where the bruise came from. That's typically where these quarterbacks get their hand injuries when they hit their hand on a helmet, on a follow through, something like that on a throw. So that'd be my. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. I wasn't there, but I would be my strong assumption would be right hand contusion.
All right. Good stuff. Exactly. Thank you. I can't believe we have to actually explain that to you. It's almost like, what is it? Like they have the, what is it? Please don't, what are the stupid things they have that I don't know. I can't think of anything right now, but people have to read labels. Don't eat this, don't do this, don't sniff this. You have to actually have that these days because people are so stupid and don't have the common sense to understand just something like that. I don't know.
Don't drink bleach, boys and girls. Don't sniff glue, don't drink bleach.
There you go. And he did hit his hand on the helmet, which by the way, if you watch the show, which I'm not going to you, Mike DeRoche, I'm going to the Forever Green Trees, Georgia, which basically he must have been smoking out with that name, by the way. I did mention that at the beginning of the broadcast. That's why you got to watch the beginning of the broadcast instead of coming in and picking points, doing this and doing that.
We want the audience to come in whenever they can come in, Peter. They can't all come in from start to finish. So give him a little break, but that was not a good assumption by our guy about it being a left hand and why ain't he out there practicing.
All right. Good stuff, Jason Powers. You're much more easier to deal with.
Growing the audience, Peter. We got to think growing the audience.
Well, I also got to troll the audience sometimes because they kind of just get on my nerves, but that's all right. Jason Powers.
Give me a quick 1-minute synopsis. How did SummerSlam go?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't SummerSlam last night? Or Saturday and Sunday?
It went 2 days, and here's the thing. I didn't get a chance to watch not one minute. I watched the highlights of it. Seth Rollins, of course, the injury angle, which we'll talk more about Wednesday. We'll mention it tonight. He came out, cashed in the Money in the Bank, so he actually was not hurt, like a lot of people reported. So CM Punk beat Gunther for the title, and then, of course, Seth Rollins' music. He screws CM Punk, hits him with the case, wins the title. Now they're called the Vision. And then also you had John Cena actually turn face. Cody Rhodes in a great match, won the match. And then Brock Lesnar came out.
We're really still rolling out Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's just because John Cena wanted him on his farewell tour, if you will, for retirement. So he wants him for a match. So they're going to have a match. Although, again, what's the controversy with Lesnar? There's still an impending lawsuit of allegations with Vince McMahon and Laurinaitis and Janelle Grant. So it's kind of a troubling situation, if you will, which once again, WWE does not care about. They do not care about it. They're going to do whatever is best for business. That's what Triple H has said from the very get-go. And this is what's best for business. So we'll see how it all plays out, Jason Powers.
Interesting stuff on Unreal, the documentary about CM Punk in the first in episode 2. Lot of CM Punk stuff behind the scenes. So I know you're a big CM Punk guy. A lot of good stuff on CM Punk. A lot of good stuff.
I got to watch the series tonight. Jason Powers on Sports Podcast, Spectrum 360. Appreciate the time as always, my friend. We'll see you soon. All right.
Football season almost here, my man. My gosh.
I can't wait because this baseball is killing me.
Anytime you need me, Peter, let me know.
Listen, you know how cool this is? Let me tell you something. This is so cool. I love my mom, and this is why. That was Jelly Roll there. Yeah, Jelly Roll was there, Mom. He was. She actually probably watched the wrestling pay-per-view, which, by the way, he took a pretty damn good bump there, if you wrestling fans know what I'm talking about, where Logan Paul comes off the top rope there and puts Jelly Roll right into the table. Pretty good. Pretty ballsy for a guy that's a country music singer or a pop singer, whatever the hell he is. He was pretty impressive. I thought, he wasn't going to be that athletic or not. That was good. Good job, Mom. Thank you very much for mentioning that. See, that's what I love. Runs in the family. All right.
All right. See you, Peter Blake.
All right. Jason Powers on Sports Podcast. All right. We're out of here with that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think, again, going back to it, that the Bucs would sit him out with a hand contusion on the opposing ham. I think we kind of made that clear. All right, so the phone lines are open tonight. If you guys want to talk about being concerned about Baker Mayfield and the injury, again, on his throwing hand, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. What player are you looking forward to seeing at this point? Phone lines are open for that. Should the Bucs make a trade for a Micah Parsons? Again, 727-255-0391. So it's Baker's throwing hand. Dude. Let's go. Powers is correct. Baker hit his hand on the helmet. Yes, Mike D. Roche. Don't inject bleach is 47. Ha, ha, ha. And again, that was Jelly Roll there. All right, let's get out to Baker Mayfield. He talked to Dan Graziano of ESPN. He described his journey to Tampa Bay. He said exactly how I drew it up. After the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson, Mayfield went from Carolina to Los Angeles with the Rams before going to Tampa. He said you can't ask for anything else, especially from the journey I've had with people telling me how to act and how to do certain things. Just coming here and just realizing that this is a great place that allows you to have success. They give you all the tools and necessary things to be able to have success. He says Mayfield also, with his connection to Todd Bowles during the draft process in 2018, as a reason he was excited to sign with the Buccaneers. He adds that Bowles had always told him to be himself. We've heard this before from Baker. This is why Baker is excelling, not only because of the weapons of the offense, but because the organization has confidence in the player. It means so much. They're not trying to change him. They go and be Baker. Be the best Baker you can be. They didn't tell him to change at all. So again, that's what he has to say with that. Jason Light has also made it clear that Baker Mayfield is a quarterback of the future and is looking for an extension. Of course, the Bucs last week gave him guaranteed money in 2026 for $30 million right there. Awesome. Good stuff there. And it couldn't happen to a better player like Baker Mayfield. And to a certain degree, he has been himself, but he's also matured. Has he not? Has he not matured on and off the field when it comes to living to fight another day, not taking that necessary hit? I know there's people out there that don't necessarily like his style. I love Baker Mayfield's style. I think he is a direct reflection of what this Buccaneer team is in that Buccaneer locker room.
Wait up, little boy. Wait up.
He also had this to say when it came to Josh Grizzard as the new offensive coordinator to Graziano from ESPN. He says, yeah, but this one's different. I'm not meeting him for the first time. He was in all the meetings last year. It also helps going into the same system with the run game. He's learning our offensive line coaches, which is huge. Keeping those guys is a huge part of the run game success. So he'll be monitoring the guys. He also had this to say about Grizzard. When Grizz was in Miami, it was, how do you get Tyreek Hill not to be doubled? So his background is how to motion, how to get certain looks out of the defense. Our third down stuff last year, a lot of it was Grizz. He was our third down pass game coordinator, so we trust in that. Just having the communication of knowing him before, we don't have to get to know each other. We kind of just say what we're thinking. So that's the difference. He knows the guy. He knows the guy from the third down play calling last year. That was important. That's the reason why the Bucs tabbed him as their new offensive coordinator in the first place. All right. So I tell you what, let's go out to it. Let's see if we can get Levante David interview here on TSW in case you guys missed it. The evolution of sports talk television. So we'll go out to it. Here's Levante David from the Expo. All right, go ahead. Put those headphones on, my friend. We've been waiting for you. We talked to your buddy there, Tristan Wirfs. Levante David, welcome to the evolution of sports talk television. Great to meet you. And let's just talk about it. Coming back for your 14th season, man. How does it feel to once again be a part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2025? Welcome to the evolution.
Man, it feels great. I wouldn't want to be any other place. You know, Tampa's been real good to me and my family, and I'm glad to give them another year.
Another year.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, there's an excitement here, and there's also a lot of talk, and it's just not fans that talk on this show and Bucs Nation, the crew itself, but there's like a bad taste in everybody's mouth because they feel you guys feel like you should have did more in that losing to the Commanders in the first round. Is that what you sense? Is that what it is here? We hear Baker, we hear Tristan.
Yeah.
Is it a bad taste in your mouth?
It definitely is. Me personally, I've been talking about it a lot. Definitely a bad taste in our mouth. Definitely a game we felt like we should have won. Definitely a season we felt like we could have got to the Super Bowl with the team that we had. And then just adding the pieces to the unit that we have now, I think we could do it again. But man, we just gotta focus on us and you know, take care of the little things, and you know, not beat ourselves, and just, you know, handle what we need to handle, because we definitely are capable of going to the top.
When did you make the decision? Because we heard Todd Bowles say you were kind of, you know, trying to think about it. When did you know you were coming back? Because we watched you on film last year.
Yeah.
Got an opportunity to watch you from the press box. I represent the JP Peterson show along with the Sports Web, and you're still playing at an elite level, my friend. First, how do you do that? Is it a Tom Brady method? Is that Tom Brady method? You know, is that what you take it from there? How are you still playing at an elite level? And when did you make that decision that you were going to come back to the Bucs in 2025?
I would say just, you know, the glory of God, the grace of God, you know, keeping me healthy throughout these years, and keeping my body upright, and keeping my mind focused and taking care of the little things that I need to take care of. And the second part of the question, when I decided, it's probably, let me see, when the season ended, January, I probably decided about like right before free agency and stuff started.
Yeah,
that's when I decided, because, you know, me and the Bucs were very transparent, you know, throughout the whole process. You know, soon as the season ended, they made it clear that they wanted me to come back. And from that right there, you know, that had it on my mind, you know. But then again, I had to, you know, just sit down and just feel like how, you know, kind of see how I feel body wise and how I am mentally, and you know, check in with my family and stuff like that. And you know, everybody else gave me the green light to say, you know, might as well do it again. And you know, there was no doubt in my mind that I was coming back to Tampa, because you know, Jason and the staff, they wanted me back. So that was an extra push for my decision. You talk about Jason Light. I think he's the best general manager in the game, in my opinion. What he's been able to do in the last 5 to 7 years, it's been amazing to keep, you know, the core talent here. Talk about the impact of Jason Light, and how we always talk about also evolution, how this organization has gone from,
just being an afterthought to now being a place that people want to be. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield Jr. Talk about that evolution a little bit.
Yeah, man, we came a long way as an organization. Came a long way, when Jason was a part of that turnaround. Those guys had a plan. They kind of revitalized things of who they wanted to come around, who they wanted to be in the building and stuff like that. And, obviously, the big jump was adding Tom, obviously. But, I feel like we had some of the guys already in the ability to make that change, but he was an added jump for us. And then going forward, man, just adding guys who have that dog mentality, guys who want to win football games, guys who want to work, and keeping guys like me, Will Golston, Mike Evans, a lot of the older guys around to kind of like kind of build, continue to build that foundation of what we want as football players. You got Chris Godwin, everybody. You got guys who gonna go in and put in the work and give you 100% effort out there on Sundays.
You're talking about Tom Brady. Give us the perspective from Levante David. We heard about the Tom Brady effect. What's the Tom Brady effect in your perspective?
Yeah, just a mentality. It's just a mentality. You know what you're capable of, and you just know what to expect. You want to be great. You got to go out there and play like it. And when he came in, man, it's crazy to say, but like he raised everybody's level of play and changed everybody's mindset. And then ever since then, that's something that I kind of like adapted to, and that's something that I tried to keep, and that's something that I want to sprinkle on the younger guys. And a lot of guys on our team now kind of got a chance to feel that too as well. So guys like Tristan his rookie year, and guys like Antoine Winfield, Jamel Dean, a lot of those guys got a chance to see how it feels. So we want to kind of like keep that same mentality and put it on the young guys who come up.
Go back to that 2020 year. How much did it mean to you? Because there were so many losing seasons with this Buccaneer organization. What did it mean to you to win the Super Bowl, win it in your own house?
Man, it was everything, man. It was everything. It's hard to describe, just everything throughout that whole process was just incredible. Just thinking back from, the dog days, being here to the 2-14 season, to the blowout games, and to the fans bashing us, things like that, man. All that just came around full circle, and it just felt like a weight was lifted off me. And the thing that I really loved about all that was just every single one of my teammates came up to me and told me like it was for me, and for them to do that and stuff like that, that was very incredible to feel, and for me to be the captain out there on the Super Bowl, that was an incredible feeling, man. I wouldn't change that moment for nothing.
We're on with Levante David, in my opinion, future Hall of Famer for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm your host, Peter Blake, on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here live from the Florida State Fairgrounds for the Expo here. You talked about the young guys, Sebastian Dennis. How excited are you about this? I think he's the X factor for this defense. Yeah. Well, tell the fans and tell everybody out there how excited you are about Mr. Sebastian Dennis.
I'm very excited about Voss, man. You guys should be excited about him too. You've seen the stuff that he put on tape already, the times that he did get a chance to play. Unfortunately, he did have some injuries, but he's a motivated guy, a smart guy, and a playmaker. In our linebacker room, we call ourselves playmakers. We not just linebackers, we want to be playmakers, and he's one of those guys that can make plays for us. And he's definitely motivated and ready to go for the season. And we're gonna see how this thing goes.
You're gonna definitely see how this thing goes. Talk about Walker Jr. from Miami. You had some emphasis on this. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, my boy A-Walk, man. I knew A-Walk for a while. We kind of like grew up in the same crowd. One of his mentors is Sean Spence, one of my closest friends, and we kind of built the relationship from there. And since he's been drafted, we always stayed in touch, and we hang out back home. Just those Miami ties. And I know the Bucs was looking for a linebacker, and he was available. So I say, gave him a little nudge. That's all I did. Gave him a little nudge. You got a guy who can play the game the right way, and a guy who could contribute to us defensively, and another veteran guy who can help us out tremendously. And he's one of those guys for sure. So, our room is kind of stacked. We got some guys who played, great football with Deion Jones, Anthony Walker, me. And then you got obviously Sebastian Dennis, you got AG, you got a couple of rookies in there who's looking really well from what I see. So definitely some playmaking to look forward to.
Absolutely. You're a soft-spoken guy. What's the recruiting pitch to Jason Light for Walker?
The recruiting pitch?
Yeah, what is it? What do you say? What do you say to Jason Light?
Honestly, what I say?
Yeah.
Hey, we got a guy who's from Miami, so you know what we talk, we know what we about. So you might well pick him up, you know. So there you have it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. We'll get you out of here because I know you got to run, but we appreciate the time here on the Evolution. What would it mean to surpass Derrick Brooks? Because he's considered by a lot of Bucs fans to be the greatest linebacker of all. I think you're 1B at this point. I think Hardy Nickerson's definitely in that conversation. Talk about it. What would it mean for you to surpass Derrick Brooks for tackles for that record for the Bucs?
Honestly, I can't even, I don't even know right now because it's like it's been brought up to me obviously plenty of times and it's possible and it's hard for me to fathom, just because how much Derrick mean, to me playing the linebacker position and then what he means to the organization and then just me knowing him as a person, it's kind of hard to like understand that it's possible to happen.
Yeah.
Just because of what he done for the game of football and what he done for the linebacker position for guys like myself. So it's kind of hard to, kind of like think about it. But, if that moment comes, it's probably going to be tears in my eyes. Honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it's definitely be an incredible moment for me for sure. And if it does happen, man, I hope he's there so we can celebrate together for sure.
Talk about Todd Bowles and the impact he's made on your career, your playing career, and what he makes on this defense, because it seems like there's a lot of disrespect. We heard a report today from Mike Florio saying, Bill, I'm like, no, Todd Bowles, man, believe in Todd Bowles and what he's been able to do here the last 4 years to win the NFC South. Why doesn't he get more respect? What kind of impact he's made on you, and why doesn't he get more respect?
I don't know, man. I don't know why he don't get a lot of respect. I remember when we won the Super Bowl, I made an emphasis to give him a shout out and give him his flowers because I know what he does. I know the work that he's put in. I know the position that he put us in to make plays. You know what I'm saying? And that whole playoff run, Coach Bowles won those games, so I don't know, why he don't get this respect or whatever. But maybe people just different. People don't like, I guess, his demeanor when he's on the sideline or whatever. But we see a whole different guy, in the meeting rooms, man. And everybody loves him. He's very, a funny guy. Yeah, loves cracking jokes. Very a player's person. He's definitely a player's coach, and everybody loves him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he don't get the credit that he deserves, man. But we definitely gonna put on for him this year.
You gave something away there. You said he was winning the playoff games. Go back to that a little bit. Kind of expound on that a little bit. Give me something.
Yeah, man. That little stretch that we had. Washington was a little hiccup or whatever, but we played the Saints and we played Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then in the Super Bowl, man, defense wins championships. So we definitely got it done. Coach Bowles came in with great game plans and kind of like added to our mentality and we felt this energy when we was out there, you know what I'm saying? So we definitely did it for him that season.
I asked Devin Hester this a couple of years ago before the Super Bowl, the night before the Super Bowl, if he was a Hall of Famer. He said, what do you think? I'm going to ask you. Levante David, you're a Hall of Famer, and why are you a Hall of Famer?
Man, like you always say, man, I'm a humble guy, but, I just got to, get out of my comfort zone. I do feel like I'm a Hall of Fame player, even though the accolades don't show, but everything else does, everything that what it takes to be a Hall of Fame player, I have that, tackles, sacks, forced fumbles, tackles for loss, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? So, for me, for what I do on the field, I feel like it's Hall of Fame worthy, but, I leave that up to the judges and stuff like that to, figure that stuff out. But nonetheless, man, I'm blessed to play this game. I'm very happy that I got a chance to play this game at a great organization, and every day, man, I give God the glory.
Love it. Levante David, thanks a lot for joining me here on the Evolution. I want you to do me one favor because we always say this on the sports web. You got to say, bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. You got to do it as loud as you are on the field. Gotcha. Not that soft-spoken guy. Come on, do it.
What is it?
Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
Bring your passion. Bring excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Winner, chicken dinner right there. Levante David, future Hall of Fame linebacker, in my opinion, of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution, all right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, man. Oh, absolutely. We're looking forward to seeing what you're going to do, what you got in store with this defense, because I'll tell you right now, this guy right here, he's playing at the top level. Here's my card, too. Anytime you want to come on the show, let me know, all right? We'll get you on. Levante David right there. All right, so welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Was that not cool or what? If you guys didn't see that interview, all those interviews, by the way, are on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web. We got an opportunity to do an interview with Levante David. We get an opportunity to do an interview with Tristan Wirfs and Brad Johnson. And the list goes on. And Kalijah Cansey and Elijah Roberts and Jalen McMillan and Christian Izien. Not Itzian, like I kept on saying during the interview. Izien. So there you go. He said it best. I'm a Hall of Famer. Paraphrasing, I'm kind of soft-spoken, but I believe I'm a Hall of Famer. So there's your answer right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let me go out to some of these other comments here. Dave says Baker will finish his career in Tampa Bay. You're right, Peter. He's finally become the adult Baker Mayfield. And then Jeremy says, what up, Peter? Can't wait till Saturday. I'll be there. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
Wait up, little boy. Wait up.
Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Go Bucs. There you go. How many more tackles does David need to pass Brooks? I believe, don't quote me on this, I think it's 127. I think. Let me just see here. Levante David, because I want to make sure we get this number correctly as I'm looking it up right now. Needs to pass Brooks. All right. Let me see here really quick. Let's see here. Levante David tries to pass. It doesn't give me the tackles. So let's see here. Was 1,300. Excuse me. David needs 189 solo tackles to catch Brooks. David's season high is 147. The NFL record for most solo tackles in season was Ray Lewis in 1997, 156. I don't know if that's the correct number, though. We'll have to check that out. I'll just say right now, I don't necessarily. I don't know hold on. Somebody's texting me right now, so maybe I'll get some confirmation here. Okay, that's not the confirmation I was looking for. So we'll go ahead and check that again. I'm checking to see this. Let's see. Stand by. I want to make sure we get this number right. I thought that it was 127. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Let's see. David has racked up second most tackles, 1,600. Third most starts. Let's see. I'm just looking here. I don't see it. Anybody has that number? I thought it was 127, but I could be wrong. How didn't you see it? I don't know what you're saying. Great interview. Thank you. You didn't see it? I don't know if you didn't. Oh, okay. How did you not see it? Well, I don't know if everybody saw that interview. Mike DeRoche asked, and we had to deliver it. But I thought, and I'm going to go back to, I thought it was 127 tackles to surpass Derek Brooks all time with tackles, his all-time tackles. So we'll check that number. Maybe it was 122. Jeremy says, I'm excited to see Ibuka, Culp, Tucker, J.J. Roberts, Morrison, and Parrish. Once again, going back to it, I didn't even say anything about J.J. Roberts, who has been the talk of camp. Morrison, Parrish, that, again, follows along with the secondary premise. So good stuff there, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Carl says, so pumped up to see what our secondary looks like this year. This could be the difference if we go all the way. Yeah, I definitely think it could be one of the positions I'm definitely looking for. I'm going to ask that on Wednesday. In fact, I'm going to post it tomorrow. Besides a player that you're excited about watching, what position battle are you invested in, if you will, in this preseason? Is it the secondary? Is it the wide receivers? Is it the offensive line now with Tristan Wirfs being out to see this depth? Let me go out to Instagram Live. Benji, thank you very much for watching from Policy Scout there. Appreciate that. Everybody else there. No way. What's up, brother? What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Yeah.
Did some good interviews here with some Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we definitely will share more of that as the season approaches. I think we'll just go ahead and wrap it up right there. Thanks a lot to all the guests. Of course, my co-host, Mr. Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire. Best of the Base, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. Love you, brother. L. Bushman of the Rays Rewind podcast. Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports. And, of course, Jason Powers on Sports podcast. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Remember, Facebook stars are open, YouTube super chats, and do 3 things. We'll try to keep it down for the roommates. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And, of course, for you fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. As we always say on this show to end it off, go Bucs.